listening to Race Day Live on Downforce UK, brought to you by Clapham North MOT, Motorsport Days Live, Stopwatch Hospitality, and Trade Price Cars.
No rest for the wicked. We're straight back into the action here at PF International, and it's finals 2 time. This is the televised finals for the TDI Media Film Crews, and they are going to have a busy one because the rain is still coming down ever so slightly, but it's been doing so for the last half an hour, so it's going to be the slipperiest it's been all day. Jake Sanson and Chris McCarthy up in the commentary box here at PF International in Lincolnshire, the Abu Dhabi of British kart circuits, and what the Trent Valley Karting Club has served us up here at Super 1 Series for the first round of 2018 has been stupendous. Guy Cunnington and James Lowther will start the Junior Rotax grid from the front row. Kai Hunter and Cameron Thompson on the second. Third row, Finley Bunce and Alex Eads. Fourth row, Matthew Collings and Sam Harrison. Glass Koika and Jack Steadman round out the top 10 from Harry Newman-Oakley and Harrison Collings. Angie Stenning and Taylor Babbs are on the 7th row from Hugh Lawrenson and Tiernan Rourke. James Watson and Owen Johnson are on the 9th row from Ben Casely and Oakley Pryor. Tom Adams, Conor Merrifield, Alex Bentley, Harvey Edmondson, Will Jenkins, Ruben Brown, Matty Hingley, Bailey Voisin, Josh Powell, Ben Burgess, Ryan Taylor-Truman and Declan Lee. That is one heck of a grid with a lot of people playing catch-up. So let's get the race and the rivalry between Guy Cunnington and James Lowther underway. This is going to be the big one. They roll up to the grid and it's a false start. Already, the tension is high.
Now, there has been some penalties in the first final for Ben Casely in 19th, Oakley Pryor in 20th, and Tom Adams in 21st. We'll just take a look exactly what those penalties are. Tom Adams actually got a 15-second penalty. Casey and Pryor 10-second penalties, and a lot of drivers behind that picking up penalties, including Edmondson, Jenkins, Brown, Hingley, Wazin, Powell, Burgess. Actually was a lap down, as was Taylor-Truman and Declan Lee as well. So penalties going out to all of those drivers. So it is a lot of drivers out there playing catch-up, a lot of quick drivers playing catch-up as well. Guy Cunnington versus James Lowther has been the story of the weekend, as you said, Jake. But Kai Hunter showed in that last race, in that first final, that he could take the battle to Guy Cunnington. In the end, won by just under 1.7 seconds. James Lowther with the quickest lap in second, but Kai Hunter was right there in third. Cameron Thompson stayed with them for a while in fourth place. Finley Bunce was able to hold up his teammate Alex Eads in fifth. Then it was Matthew Collins who actually gained 10 positions in seventh. Samuel Harrison, Klaus Koika, Jack Steadman round out the top 10. Harry Newman-Oakley gained 13 places in 11th, and Tiernan Rourke gained 13 places in 16th. So we'll see if they can move further forward in final 2.
Yeah, for me, there's 3 drivers who can win this. Guy Cunnington, James Lowther and Kai Hunter. Kai Hunter, in particular, is the one who proved that if these two keep mucking about, he's going to get them mugged. And this is going to be a very interesting battle to see if Kai Hunter can actually get over one.
In a way, he's got nothing to lose, has he?
Absolutely. This is Cunnington versus Lowther. That's the main headline. But if Hunter just gets himself into the mix, he could snatch it from them. Let's get racing.
Here we go.
Cracking start from Hunter. Nothing Lowther can do about that one. He is there in third position behind Cunnington. Hunter gets into second place off the start. Beautiful getaway. Has he gone for the lead already? Is that Hunter through? Not quite.
No, it's not. He's in third place.
Lowther's
but he goes to second. He's going through to second, is he? No. Well,
Lowther's got him back. See, Hunter beat him off the line, but Lowther got back on the inside.
Oh, and almost some contact over the bridge. That was Bunce and Thompson going head to head.
Cunnington versus Lowther again. Here we go, and it's going to be a great battle. Lowther's going straight for it into the first hairpin. This rivalry is absolutely rock and roll at the moment. Up to the second hairpin. Lowther absolutely cemented on that inside line.
Brilliant start from Matthew Collings. He's up to his 6th place, the Scottish champion. Then behind that it is the number 61 of Alex Eads, then Klaus Koika, then the 31, which is Angie Stenning. And behind Stenning, didn't quite catch who it was, but it's a whole queue of drivers. Looks like everyone is through safely. The number 80 delayed in the first sector.
That's Hugh Lawrenson, who's gone a long way down the order, actually. So Lawrenson
starting right up the order as well.
Yeah, so difficulties for Lawrenson on the first lap as he now finds himself dead last. But now, here comes the battle, and it's Lowther in front of Cunnington, having been third on the way down to turn 3. That is astonishing. Good work from Lowther. Cunnington in second, 0.7 back. But Lowther in these conditions wants to assert himself early.
And Cameron Thompson's gone up to third place. So the Scottish driver into third place, past Kai Hunter. Kai Hunter struggling at the start of this one. Then it is Matthew Collins ahead of Finley Bunce. Bunce had gone into fifth briefly.
Was Hunter back into third, and Thompson's going to get him back again.
Yep, so these two squabbling when they should be working together. And behind that, Collins has gone back into fifth place. Behind that is still Alex Eads. And then there's a move going on behind. Klaus Koika losing eighth place to Angie Stenning.
Ben Burgess is making up places as well as he picks off a few drivers, going with Tom Adams.
Oh, and Alex
contact. Eads on the inside of Bunce.
Eads on the inside of Matthew Collins and Finley Bunce. So making 2 places in one hit there. Brilliant driving that from Alex Eads.
That's up to fifth position. That's up to fifth place as they pass the Scottish champion, the S-Plate, Matthew Collins and Finley Bunce, who now drops back into sixth position behind Alex Eads. So 2 for the price of 1. Problems there for the 53. That's Ben Casely.
No.
So Casely is touring around at the back. Difficulties for him. I have a feeling he's going to be bringing it back to the pits and retirement. But Lowther in front of Cunnington. Is Cunnington getting the gap down? The answer, yes, he is. The gap is about 0.7.
Exactly the same.
To the 100th of a second. The lap times are identical. Absolutely amazing.
So through the first couple of corners we go then. And Guy Cunnington in this first sector reeling in James Lowther as they head over the Litchfield Bridge for the third time. Off the bridge they come. And do we have a much more settled Cameron Thompson and Kai Hunter? I think we do. But here comes Matthew Collins. He's under pressure from Stenning. Down in towards the first hairpin. Klaus Koika just in behind that as well. Then it's Stedman and Harrison. Behind Harrison we have the likes of Taylor and Babs and Oakley Pryor. So Pryor's made a good start off the line. He's gained 7 places. Ben Burgess is up 11 places, down in 19th at the moment. Of course, he was a front runner earlier in the weekend, but had a very unfortunate first final.
Still picking off carts, though, as he comes through. And I think that's Owen Johnson in there battling with him. So some good progress made there. Up at the front, Guy Cunnington still trying to chip away at James Lowther. Faster than him in the first split. Faster than him in the second split. This is going to be the rivalry once again. Lowther versus Cunnington. Take about 15 because they've been battling each other so much this weekend. It's going to crock on again. So Cunnington in chase of Lowther. And nobody can match them. But well done to Cameron Thompson up there in third position.
Yeah.
Clearly, as a Scotsman, he knows how to deal in greasy conditions. It barely ever sunshine at Larkhall.
Yeah,
anyway,
I didn't want to be the one that said it. But
well, that's fine.
True.
I'll take the rap for that. I love Scotland. Anyway, up over the top of the bridge they come, those two. Cunnington definitely getting closer to Lowther, but he's pacing himself. He's taking his time about it. He's going to have, I think he could have a go into the second hairpin the way that Lowther is dealing with these hairpins. They're having to be so tentative.
It's amazing, even with the differing conditions, there's still absolutely nothing to choose between these two.
This is going to be 2018's title fight. This is going to be the big one. Absolutely amazing. Lowther versus Cunnington. Cunnington still reeling him in. Lowther, 0.2 of a second quicker in the first split. At the second split, look, he's right underneath him. Here we go. Ding, ding, round 4.
Quickest on track is Cameron Thompson, though at the moment Finley Bunce has broken clear of the 6th place battle, so he's trying to chase his 2 teammates down in 5th place now. Ben Burgess now up 15 places, up to 15th, so his progress continues, but it's all about the 2 leaders. We're waiting to see when the second lead change of the race is going to happen.
Here it comes, I think, on the way towards the first hairpin. He's got a long way to come back as Cunnington, but he's chucking it in over the curbs. It may even be before then. Is he going to go for the third corner? No, not quite.
Oh, well, Lowther's run wide.
Lowther's drifted wide. Cunnington trying to come in on the inside. Doesn't get the move done. Up into the turn 4. Up and over the bridge. Down the right-hander.
Let's see what the exit is like for Cunnington.
Cunnington needs a good run. It's not close enough, but he might get there on straight-line speed. He might just surprise him.
And a look over the shoulder that time, and Cunnington just assessing the situation behind him.
Oh,
look at Finley Bunce.
Oh, what a move for Bunce. Well, a nice move, but he's going to try to cut him off on the exit and hold it for the inside of the second hairpin.
Well,
nicely done.
And really, wearing that number 6 plate, he should be the one that Kai Hunter's following, so I don't think it will take too much convincing for Finley Bunce there, as Cameron Thompson is absolutely flying.
25.7 in the first split.
He's 0.4 quicker in the first sector alone than Lowther and Cunnington.
0.4 second in the second split as well. Cameron Thompson is the man on the move. He's going to go about a second quicker than these two. This is what I was saying. Cunnington versus Lowther, they need to calm this down because other drivers are going to use this to their advantage. They're going to beat them to the punch. So here comes Cameron Thompson on the back. He is closing in big style as he comes across the line, this time by way. 1:14.5, 1:14.4 for Bunce, who's even quicker. Brilliant stuff as they battle away for position. Exciting stuff all the way through. This is absolutely magnificent.
Well, good stuff there, as we said, from Cameron Thompson and Finley Bunce. They're closing the gap down. So is this now the sign for Cunnington to potentially make this move? He's keeping an eye on the gap as much as he can as they head up towards the first hairpin once again. Cunnington
He's so close, Thompson. Yeah. He's really getting closer to them now. But again, Lowther defends, cutting Cunnington off.
Thompson 4/10 quicker through the first sector alone once again.
He could win this whole thing now. The conditions are absolutely to his liking. And if Lowther and Cunnington spend too long mucking about, if I'm Thompson, I just hang back for a bit. Save the cart. Stay close, but save the cart. Because you never know. If those two get into the spoils, he can just disappear past both of them and take the win. Thompson is now my favourite for this victory. He's got the speed. Can he get himself into the right position?
Well, let's have a look and see the times as they come across the
line.
Still
faster than them in the second sector again.
Well, let's see. The gap was 1.8 seconds. Let's see what it is as they cross the line.
Lowther and Cunnington struggling this time.
1.4.
Not the greatest of last sectors for Thompson. Otherwise, he's been absolutely rapid. But I think he's just taking his time about this. He knows that these two have been fighting all weekend. We've been talking about it non-stop since Friday. This is going to be a great opportunity for Thompson. If he can just get himself into a nice position behind these two, let them battle it out, and then he could pick up the spoils.
Down towards hairpin one once again. Finley Bunce setting very quick lap times likewise. Let's look further down the order though, as I don't think we're going to see a lead change just yet.
Well,
we've got Matthew, and we've got a change almost into the first hairpin. We've got Matthew Collins in 6th, then Klaas Koike, then it is Alex Eads. Behind Eads,
Oakley Pryor up 10 places. Well, then Sam Harrison behind him is Oakley Pryor, so you're right. 44 Harrison is there. Then in 10th place, Oakley Pryor, who's up 10 places. He's gone through half the grid.
Then it's Taylor Babs, and then it is Tom Adams, who's up 9 places.
Ben Burgess is up 16 in 14th behind Harry Newman Oakley.
Yep, Ben Burgess in the 13. I think he's just going through the chicane at the moment.
Yep, good progress too from both Matty Hingley and Bailey Voisin. Both of them are up 9 places, as is Declan Lee from last place.
Wasn't Matty Hingley in the war in the opening lap, or am I thinking of the first final?
I think that was the first final. He got himself caught up with Kai Hunter, of course, and Hunter, the way he's fought himself back has been amazing. But Hingley's weekend could have gone so differently had it not been for that.
Now, once again, Cameron Thompson was quicker, but James Lowther is starting to find his feet. It was a new fastest lap from Thompson, but he was only a 10th quicker than both James Lowther and Guy Cunnington. So
and Finley Bunce is not far away, actually, in 4th place. So Bunce is still in touch with these three. They've got to continue to use
Thompson
the grid.
All out of shape going through hairpin 1 there. Got far too deep on the brakes, I think.
Has he peaked, potentially? It's a harsh thing to say, and I don't know whether that's the truth or not. Oh, we've got a nice battle shaping up behind Klaas Koike. That's Eads, Harrison and Pryor, and that is Eads at the back of the queue now with Pryor in the middle and Sam Harrison at the front of the queue. So nice moves.
And Babs closing in. So
a little bit of a nerf out of the first hairpin as well. That is the 12 moving up a couple of places on the 22. So that is Declan Lee passing Bailey Voisin and Jack Steadman. So good moves as well from Declan Lee as he makes up 2 places in that particular move. Oh no, he's Declan Lee and Harvey Edmondson both going past Bailey Voisin.
Across the line, Lowther controlling this one. Nothing to choose between the two leaders. They've just set identical lap times as Finley Bunce in 4th place is the quickest on track, and I think you might be right about Cameron Thompson. 1 or 2 mistakes starting to creep in now for Thompson. Either that or his tyres are starting to fall away from him. But Thompson not got the pace he had earlier in this race, and he's got his teammate crawling all over the back of him.
Yeah, this race is all about tyre life now because, of course, it's not full wets. It's greasy, slippery conditions, but the rain has been falling for the entire half hour of the break, so it's been a completely wet circuit, essentially, but it's not full monsoon. It's that treacherous Spa-Francorchamps style conditions where you're not really sure what the circuit is doing lap to lap, so it's going to change over the course of the rest of this race. We've only got 2 laps to go at the end of this one, so it's going to be very tough. And you look at the pace that we had earlier on from the drivers compared to now, they're about 15 seconds off the pace of where they were this morning, so it's really, really tricky to see how this is going to continue on. A big tank slapper from Lowther coming out of the left-hander.
First mistake for a number of laps.
That's the first blip he's had all race long, and Cunnington will see that as an opportunity. I can get him.
Well, it cost Lowther 600ths of a second, that mistake, so nothing.
That's it, 600.
No, not much at all.
Fair enough, okay.
That's what we're talking about in this race, though.
Well, Lowther saving his bacon very nicely there. He obviously rolled off the power at just the right moment to ease the damage. But Lowther still there from Cunnington. Thompson has now got Finley Bunce breathing all over him as they come off the main straight. Off the back straight, into the first hairpin. Lowther just taking it easy through that first hairpin.
Guy Cunnington, 2.5 tenths quicker through the first sector than James Lowther.
Lowther looks back. Is he there? Oh, my word, he is. I better get on with it. And he is stepping up the attack again.
Are we going to see a last lap shootout here? Well, it's going to need a mistake, surely, from Lowther or unbelievable last lap from Cunnington.
The thing is, both of them can do that. We've seen Lowther make a mistake. We've seen Cunnington come from a long way back to challenge. It is going to be a tall ask, though, because we're coming into the Mike Wilson complex for the last time. And
the penultimate time.
Penultimate time, sorry. And it looks to me as though Lowther has just about got enough. What's going to be interesting is can Finley Bunce overhaul Cameron Thompson on the last lap?
Cunnington was looking down at something there.
Don't tell me Cunnington's got a problem.
I think he hasn't looked down again, but he was looking down at his rear tyres. So.
He can't catch him. He's too far back. That last sector was a full 0.3 of a second off. The mid sector was 0.4 slower. Even though he was 0.3 faster in the first sector, he was 0.4 slower in the second. I think his tyres have gone.
Right, what about the battle for third then? All focus turns to that, surely.
I think it could be a battle of a second, though, because if Cunnington continues to lose ground, Thompson
third.
And Bunce...
Look at third, though. Cameron Thompson's going to get nervous and start.
Well, that's what I mean. Look, Cunnington's struggling with the tyres. Thompson and Bunce are right on him. This is going to be a three-way fight for second if they're not careful. Cunnington's really struggling.
Bunce to the outside. Might get the switch back on Thompson here. Oh, Bunce has gone far too deep on the brakes and he's not going to get the benefit of a good run out of the second hairpin there.
Well, Thompson needs to keep Cunnington guessing in this last section of the race as they come down towards Bobby Game corner into the right-hander. Thompson still has a chance. Bunce is still right with him. If he doesn't give Cunnington any hint of what he's doing, Cunnington's really struggling for grip. They've only got 2 corners to go, but James Lowther has done what he set out to do. He's come through to take the victory. A brilliant result. James Lowther wins the second race, and it's a magnificent end to his day. Cunnington hangs on for second in front of Thompson and Bunce, and that, I believe, makes it all square on the points, because they've both got 2 wins and both got 2 seconds.
Yeah, on countback, James Lowther is the championship leader. Leaving PF International. You can see it on the big screen if you look over. James Lowther leads the championship, 192 points. Guy Cunnington also with 192 points. Finley Bunce third in the championship after round 1, 175 points for him. Cameron Thompson fourth place with 168 points. Kai Hunter fifth, 167 points. Samuel Harrison sixth, 165 points. Alex Eads 7th, 158 points. Klaus Koika in 8th, 153. Angie Stenning 9th, 145 points. Jack Stedman in 10th place, 144 points, Jake.
Yep, James Lowther takes another victory, his second of the weekend over Guy Cunnington. Cameron Thompson on the podium in the final race, though. Oh, a bit of a moment there for the 60. Josh Powell looks like he's spun coming out of the final turn and just about got himself over the line. But Lowther takes the victory from Cunnington in second. Thompson is third from Finley Bunce, Kai Hunter, Matthew Collings, the Scottish champion in the top 6. Klaus Koika, Sam Harrison, Alex Eads and Oakley Pryor round out the top 10. Good racing from Pryor and Adams, both to come back in 10th and 11th, both of them up 10 places from the start. Then it's Taylor Babs, Harry Newman Oakley. The big mover is Ben Burgess from 30th on the grid up to 14th. Good work from him. Angie Stenning in 15th. 11 places made up for Matty Hingley up to 16th. Then we have Tiernan Rourke from Owen Johnson, Jack Stedman, Harvey Edmondson rounding out the top 20. Then it is Hugh Lawrenson from Bailey Voisin, Declan Lee up 9 places, Will Jenkins, James Watson, Harrison Collings, then Ryan Taylor-Truman, Connor Merrifield, Reuben Brown, Alex Bentley and Josh Powell, with only the one retirement, and that was Ben Casely on the second lap of the race. But James Lowther and Guy Cunnington dead level for points in the championship. Lowther getting the nod based on his qualifying, but I tell you what, this championship season is going to be electric between those two. There is nothing to choose between James Lowther and Guy Cunnington. Roll on Wilton Mill, the second round of the championship, and hopefully that rivalry will continue in earnest. Next up, we have the second of the 2 finals for Minimax, and it's been all about one man so far, Miles Barthorpe.
Yeah, he's done really well all weekend, Miles, hasn't he? He's practically unbeaten. Let's look back at what happened yesterday. Qualified pole position, won the first heat, was fourth in his second heat, and then in the earlier final, he won by just shy of 8 seconds. Now, the conditions were practically identical. Oh, have we had a spinner coming out have we had any problems coming out the pits? Just from what I heard there, it sounded
like... Oh, yes, we have right below me. That's the 41.
Right.
41, Brodie Trahorn has spun underneath my gantry. Goodness me. And he's got too badly damaged. Brodie Trahorn's race weekend has ended in incredibly dramatic style. Fresh out of the pits and spins into the wall. Too much damage to continue, and Brodie Trahorn is out.
Oh, well, Brodie...
I've never seen that before.
Oh, well, Brodie will be hoping the cameras didn't catch that one. That's a real shame there.
I'm afraid they did.
Trahorn.
I'm afraid they did. Our cameraman up at the top will have caught that. My dear, oh dear. Brodie Trahorn out of the race before it's even started, before he's even really begun his formation lap.
Well...
What a disaster.
Just lit up the tyres too much, perhaps, coming out the pit lane. But Miles Barthorpe is on pole position alongside Max Edmondson. Row 2, Archie Kitching and Marcus Littlewood. Sam Gornall and Sean Cuss, row 3. Alexander Hughes and Callum Voisin, row 4. And then row 5, we have Jed Murphy and Machi Hamera. Brodie Trahorn not on row 6, so it will just be Jack Finch, row 6, with Charlie Knight and Ellis Paleo, Jake.
This is going to be an interesting one. Can Miles Barthorpe make it a clean sweep in Minimax? We will find out. 2 heats and then a victory earlier today.
Full start,
because we've got one cart off the back, and also, of course, we've got Brodie Trahorn's cart, and the 41.
It looked a bit quick as well. But just quickly, of course, it's very not similar, but we had dampish conditions in the first final, didn't we? Where they were all on slicks and it started to rain.
Yeah, the rain was starting to come down during that race. So very exciting battle, to be fair, earlier on. But Barthorpe got the better of them all. So
we have got someone out there on slicks. The 69 of Jed Murphy.
Really?
Is on
now,
slick tyres.
If it's
and I'm pretty sure that's Jed Murphy at the bridge.
Yeah, do you know what? That's starting to look like a mad decision. I mean, okay, it's a gambler's decision because you never know. If it dries out, he'll be an absolute victor.
But
I know that there was
12 minutes is not enough time.
Well, the thing is, we had a Birrellart race last year when about 5 drivers went for slicks, everybody else went for wets. It dried out in the middle of the race, and all the slick drivers came through and won. So he's thinking, I know exactly what he's thinking there. What if it stops? I'm at the back of the field anyway.
Has stopped, hasn't it? It's just not raining anymore.
Well, it's there or thereabouts.
To me, it's just... It's
No, it is raining. It's definitely raining, and it's getting quite hard now, actually. I'm just looking at it out of the commentary box window. It's getting quite hard, actually, in terms of its...
Might as well just come into the pits. Because it's... Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying it's like heavy shower conditions, but it's now heavy drizzle, and that's definitely going to make things greasy. So here they come out of the final turn. Barthorpe on the inside, Edmondson on the outside from Kitching, Littlewood, Gornall and Cuss. It's going to be a good start this time. Here we go. And it's a cracker from the race leader, Miles Barthorpe. They tiptoe their way through the first chicane. That's a perfect textbook getaway from Barthorpe. And unfortunately, Jed Murphy at the back of the field on those slicks. Not the greatest decision.
No, track far too wet and not enough time for it to dry out. And there's no sunshine either on the track. So, well, there we go.
A couple of places being lost in the middle of the field there. Is that Charlie Knight going backwards in the 43?
Oh, and Marcus Littlewood almost thought he was going to challenge for the lead early doors, and he's going to be side by side on the exit of the first hairpin. Marcus Littlewood here trying to go for the lead, and to the outside, that's Max Edmondson in 3rd place. And let's try and pick up who that is in 4th. That's Sean Cuss, I think, in 4th place it is. Then it's to 27 of Archie Kitching.
Littlewood goes for the lead! Marcus, no! Marcus, that was never going to happen. In a month of Sundays and 2 more clatter into him. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Littlewood went for broke on Barthorpe.
And someone's picked up a bent axle there, definitely.
Well, that was never going to happen, unfortunately. It looks to me as though Charlie Knight got caught up in that one. So too did Alexander Hughes. And I think we lost... I
think Charlie Knight's going for the pits.
Charlie Knight's going for the pits. That is a disaster. Marcus Littlewood just decided maybe I can go for the lead after all. But it was never, ever, ever on. And he now finds himself down at the back.
I think potentially he may have outbraked himself and thought, I'm going to have to just go for it.
Yeah, possibly. What a shame.
What happened?
Well, I was starting to think that the spirit of Senna really would live on around the circuit there, going for the lead.
Not today.
Not this time. Well, certainly, he's still got time. I mean, he's in 11th position as he comes across the line. If he hasn't got damage, then he should be able to start picking them off one by one if he's got good grip.
He's lining up.
Machi Himera, the first one. There he goes. That's straight into 10th place.
Well, he's going to be driving out of his skin
and it's going to be 9th, is it? Yes, it is. Littlewood's going straight back into this. He's not done yet, folks. Meanwhile, Barthorpe is struggling with Edmondson.
And Edmondson going for the lead.
This is going to be the move Littlewood should have got done. Now Edmondson's through into the lead. So Barthorpe has almost got every single win in the board. But, of course, Edmondson took one off him yesterday. So let's see if he can make it 2 out of 2.
2 all.
Will it be 2 all this time? Or is there going to be a hard charge from Marcus Littlewood?
Now, Jed Murphy, just to give you an idea, he's done a 130. He did a 131 on the first lap.
Right.
And the leaders did 118s.
Well, from Jed Murphy's point of view, the rain has got to stop now. It's got to stop now and then hope that the circuit suddenly dries. I don't think that's going to happen. It's still raining quite consistently. But, hey, they gambled. He needed to gamble. That was the only way he was going to win. So, not a bad decision in terms of the gutsiness of it.
You only live once.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was never really going to happen on this particular occasion. It's 50-50, and unfortunately, he didn't get the heads. Now,
Max Edmondson is pulling away, and at the moment, Miles Barthorpe is under a lot of pressure here.
How's Littlewood getting? Oh, he's up another few places. Littlewood's now up to 7th. Make that 6th.
Good move, that.
Oh, beautifully done. Littlewood's up to 6th position now, or 7th place, sorry, because he's there on behind the 34 of Ellis Paleo, who's got himself up into P6. Third behind our 2 leaders, by the way, is Jack Finch. Great work from him. Sean Cuss is 4th. Then it is Charlie Knight, then Paleo, and then Littlewood. Problems for Kitching.
Yeah, Jack Finch up from 12th on the grid. So Jack Finch going along very, very well. And to give you an idea, Jack Finch qualified 11th yesterday. He scored in the first heat. Jack Finch finished in 11th place. And in the second heat, he finished 14th place. So this by far his best performance of the weekend.
He started 12th in this one, and he's now up to 3rd.
His best performance has been in 11th place. At the moment, he's on the podium.
Superb work for Jack Finch. He is going absolutely beautifully. Not on by accident either. He's completely worked for it.
It's been similar fortunes for Sean Cuss as well. He started 8th in the earlier final, finished 6th, and now he's got a chance of a podium. So everyone taking advantage of the mistakes made, well, of course, with the incident which involved Marcus Littlewood, who, let's see where he is now. He's up to 7th, and he's chasing down Knight and Paleo, is that?
Yes, it is. Yep. Charlie Knight and Ellis Paleo battling away for position. Bit of a long, wide line from Knight.
Change for 3rd is there. Sean Cuss, I thought he was going to make a move on Jack Finch.
Well, Finch runs a little bit deep, but that's fine.
And here we go.
Line. Is he going to hold it to the inside line? No, he thinks better of it. He's got a long way to go, don't forget, 7 minutes.
Oh, and a mistake there from Finch, and he runs wide in the chicane, and there you go. Open the door.
Yep, that's why he didn't go for the overtaking move, because he basically put the guy in front, Jack Finch, under pressure, let him make the mistake, and picked up the place anyway. Good work there from Sean Cuss to intimidate and put himself in the right position. He's up to 3rd. Finch has not lost a lot, though. He's still there in 4th position, and this is a good drive from both of them.
He might settle down now, Jack Finch, as well. Now he's behind. Oh, and that said, he makes a mistake at the last corner, runs wide, but he just needs to calm his nerves.
New fastest lap, Sean Cuss. Look at that, a 1:17.07.
Sean Cuss is absolutely flying.
Oh, did you see the tank slapper from Finch, though, as they came under the bridge? The back end sliding sideways to the right rather than the left. So he was lucky to catch that. Good driving, though, from Finch. He clearly seems to be much more comfortable in the wet conditions than he has been in the dry over the course of the weekend. So Finch getting an awful lot of grip out of the kart. Sean Cuss likewise. Interestingly, Barthorpe just doesn't seem to have the same sort of grip as Edmondson in these slippery conditions. He just hasn't quite got the overall pace. Littlewood is starting to put Charlie Knight under pressure because Ellis Paleo has got past him and he's up into 5th place. Paleo's going well as well. He's another driver who's just doing so well in the wet. Cuss is up 3.
Well, he started last place.
Yeah, Cuss is up 3. Finch is up 8. Paleo started dead last in 14th. He's up 9 places now. Charlie Knight is up 7. So amazingly, the big names, such as Archie Kitching and Brodie Trehorn, they're the ones who've got caught out. Gornell's only 8th. Littlewood's only 7th.
Yeah, Ellis Paleo actually disqualified from the first final, but he didn't have the best of runs yesterday anyway. So he's doing a fantastic job. Up 9 places, biggest mover on the track. as we go across the line. Edmondson's lead 2 seconds, and then it's about 1.8 seconds back to Sean Cuss, who still has the fastest lap of the race.
Edmondson looks back just to check how far Miles Barthorpe is away as Kitching tries to make the move on Hamera. And Archie Kitching is one who's just gone backwards through this field. He's now in 11th place.
Was he caught up? He was caught up in that incident, I believe, wasn't he, at the start? So that's why he's down there. But still, he
was in about 6th position at one point, so he's just going backwards.
He hasn't got the pace either. So, and there goes a move from Littlewood down at hairpin 1, and that's on Charlie Knight, and that is
Knight gets him back again, but Knight goes off on the grass. So Littlewood needs to get himself right back in there as Paleo is going for Finch. Paleo goes for Finch into the second hairpin, doesn't get the move done, but that's a state of intent now. The man to watch, though, is Sean Cuss. He's chipping away at Miles Barthorpe. That would be an amazing result if Barthorpe, the man who's won 2 races this weekend already, gets beaten by Sean Cuss, who started in the top 6, but he's been struggling all weekend to be on the pace. If Cuss can get Barthorpe, that would be a great result.
Yeah, get a podium. That would be awesome.
Well, he's already in the podium, of course, for 3rd, but if...
spin!
Out of the final turn, that's Edmondson! Edmondson from the lead! Edmondson spins out of the final turn and drops back to 3rd! It's going to be 5th by the time he gets to turn 1.
Oh, when he turns in on Jack Finch!
Turns in on Finch, who's now up to 4th place! Oh dear, so now Barthorpe is leading, Cuss is 2nd, but Edmondson dropped the ball in the final turn!
What a mistake to make, and... hands the lead back to Miles.
And now it's a battle for 3rd position. There's 3 of them at it as they come over the
off
hill.
The bridge, and that is Miles Barthorpe. Is it losing 2 places there?
No, that's Edmondson in 3rd. Having to defend
making
from
a place,
Finch and Paleo. So Paleo tried to get the way past both of them. Paleo now might have a chance to get past Finch on the undercut. Littlewood, meanwhile, clatters his way eventually alongside, but not quite past Charlie Knight.
Now Sean Cuss has a chance to take a win.
If he can keep up with Barthorpe, it's on. There is a chance to make it happen. He is catching him. He's chipping away a few tenths of a second per lap.
Oh, he's just gained 4 tenths through the second sector alone.
Oh, my goodness. This could be a victory for Sean Cuss if he just keeps up the pace. Barthorpe under pressure here because now it's him who could drop the ball. Edmondson has already done that, so Barthorpe has got to be careful. But Cuss, this is pure pace. He's catching him. Barthorpe is not going to have this easy at all.
There's Jed Murphy pulling over to allow them through.
Oh dear, plenty of wheel spin. Oh, now this could be a problem because Murphy's right in the middle of the track and Cuss is there.
Oh dear.
Well, that's held him up a little bit, but how much? The gap is down to 1.4.
More than a little bit, I'd say. You have to come right off the throttle.
That's really hampered Cuss's progress. I mean, he's still there, but that's going to make things tougher. With 2.5 plus 1 lap to go, Sean Cuss genuinely with a chance to win this now. Down the back straight, Barthorpe is being so hesitant into the hairpins, though. Cuss is just going all aggression.
6 tenths was the damage of that delay at turn 1 for Sean Cuss.
Well, plus however faster he would have been in the first sector anyway, of course.
Yeah, that's very true.
Now, Barthorpe is going very tentatively through the hairpins. Cuss is just attacking them. From his point of view, he's had a really tough weekend at the office. 6th position in race 1 was fortunate, but now he's got a brilliant kart underneath him and he's going at it. 24.41 compared to 24.06. Cuss is catching him.
Yeah, Max Edmondson still doing all right. He's still on a podium position, but obviously not going to be happy with himself having spun there at the last corner. But we've still got a battle on for the victory, and the race still far from over as we exit the last corner. In terms of the championship, Barthorpe currently leading by 10 points over Edmondson. Then it's Kitching, Gornall, Littlewood, Cuss, Knight, Trahorn, Hughes and Wazin.
Cuss is still chipping away at Barthorpe. This is not done yet. Edmondson's really struggling for grip through the Litchfield Bridge. That is really tricky. He got a kart right out sideways. He was taking a few tips from Peter Solberg through there. That was a little bit rallycross for a moment. Into the pits, by the way, has come Alexander Hughes. His race has ended. I didn't notice that one. Apologies. But Hughes' race ended about the same time as Brodie Trahorn's did. Let's see how Littlewood is getting on.
Sean Cuss on this lap is absolutely flying.
Now, Littlewood has finally got past Knight and then just runs wide again. So those two continuing to swap positions. But Cuss is definitely taking it to Barthorpe. 0.3 of a second quicker in the first split. Through the second split, it's visually ridiculously close now, and Cuss just knows that Barthorpe has got it all to do. He takes another 0.3 of a second out of him in the second split. This is Sean Cuss with nothing to lose, going for broke. What if he wins it?
2 laps to go, and he's got a genuine chance of a victory here, and Miles Barthorpe may not even fight him too hard, considering how well he's gone this weekend. Out the last corner, the gap was 1.5 seconds. Let's check what it is as they come across the line.
It's less than that
it's
now. I think it's less than a
second.
second. Yes, 0.75, a 1:16.6 from Cuss.
New fastest lap. New fastest lap for Sean Cuss in second place.
Here we go. Barthorpe's a little bit wayward through 3. Cuss is just reeling him in now. But from Barthorpe's point of view, even if Cuss gets past him, it doesn't matter too much in terms of the championship fight, because Barthorpe would still be leading the championship with Edmondson behind him. I
was going to say, Sean Cuss is 6th place in the final one, was his best result of the weekend so far.
Barthorpe's really struggling through those hairpins. It's a matter of when rather than if Sean Cuss challenges him now. They're running out of time.
Barthorpe running
0
wide.
seconds.
Barthorpe running wide at hairpin 2, and
it's
here
the
we go.
penultimate lap. If I'm Sean Cuss, I'd wait for a clear moment. Look, Barthorpe is defending like crazy. Cuss very nearly clatters into him as they come off of their chicane. This is going to be the final lap coming up, but Barthorpe is hanging on to this race win by a thread at the moment. Sean Cuss definitely faster, definitely going to get an opportunity. The question is, how clean can the move be?
Out of the Mike Wilson complex we go. Okay, just one corner and a lap. And Sean Cuss, where and when is he going to make his move?
Barthorpe slides out of the final corner. This could be the chance as they go into the final lap. Sean Cuss is going to be right there to go for the move. Barthorpe holds his line through the first corner. Through turn 2, Sean Cuss is going forward into 3 as he knows. Barthorpe, look, defending to the inside, but that's not necessarily to pass the line.
Sean Cuss pulled wide. Can he get the run onto the Litchfield Bridge? No, not quite.
Hairpin 2. I reckon that's where he's going to get his chance. Hairpin 2.
Well, he's not got the best of runs over the bridge there, and it's...
but he makes up so much time under the brakes for hairpin 1. That's when he could set him up. Barthorpe, look, he's so tentative on the brakes, Barthorpe. Cuss might get a good line out of here and start to reel him in. Look, he's going to set him up potentially.
I don't know if he's
not quite close enough,
I think he just may have lost too much time over the bridge there, but...
Barthorpe goes wide!
There we go.
Cuss is going to have a chance, maybe into Bobby Game corner. Hang back a moment. Watch what Barthorpe does. Try and get him on the undercut. Hang back a moment. Out of the right-hander. Barthorpe's going to defend and cover the Bobby Game corner. He's going to miss his chance there. The checkered flag is ready. Dan Ashton to wave it. It's going to be a tough
and there he goes on the inside.
Cuss is there on the inside. Is he? Barthorpe
just doesn't get it. He might get the run to the last corner, but I think Barthorpe's just about done enough.
Is this going to be Barthorpe for the victory, or can Cuss get him to the line? I think Barthorpe's just going to hang on to it. Barthorpe gets the win from Cuss. Oh, Sean Cuss. So close. But second place, very worthy drive indeed. Third position for Max Edmondson. Fourth for Ellis Palaio. What a drive from dead last for Palaio. Then it is Jack Finch from Marcus Littlewood. Charlie Knight in 7th. Sam Gornell. Callum Voisin. Machi Hamera comes home in 10th place. A disaster in every possible respect for Archie Kitching coming home in 11th place. And Jed Murphy on the slick tyres with 12th position and a lap adrift of the rest of the field. So Archie Kitching, effectively, without Jed Murphy being on slicks, would be dead last, unfortunately, which is a real shame from his point of view. But Miles Barthorpe hanging on. Sean Cuss, he's definitely learnt a lot from that one. And to be fair, it's been a cracking race weekend and a great finish to it for Sean Cuss. So close to getting a first victory on his first weekend in the championship.
Yeah, 0.3 of a second he was across the line. Miles Barthorpe taking the win, and with it a healthy championship lead. He's going to be on 193 points as we leave PF International. 183 points it is for Max Edmondson, 175 for Archie Kitching and Marcus Littlewood, who tie third. Then it's Sam Gornell on 174, Sean Cuss on 172, 161 for both Charlie Knight and Brody Trahorn. Then it's Hughes on 156 and Voisin on 154. So that's how the championship looks. Miles Barthorpe wins over Sean Cuss, 4 seconds back. Would he have taken the race win? Max Edmondson, he finishes in third place. Ellis Palaio gains 10 places to come from dead last to finish fourth place. Perhaps one of the drivers of the race, but you have got to feel a little bit sorry for Sean Cuss. But credit to the race winner, Miles Barthorpe, who defended very well there.
The other one you got to feel sorry for is Brodie Trahorn. You never really knew where he was going to finish because he started that race on the wet tyres. He was down at the back. He had nothing to lose. He could easily have been one of the contenders for the victory in that one as well. So a really tough day at the office for the established names. Kitching struggling. Trahorn not starting at all. That was a really exciting end to the Minimax Brigade for this weekend, and there's plenty more excitement to come from them over the course of the season. I'll bet we've got at least 5 drivers who could win the championship this year just on the back of this first weekend. So terrific stuff. Now we have to turn our attention to the Rotax 177 class, and in these conditions we are going to have a bit of an interesting one because so far it's been all about Louis Large. He won both the heats and the earlier final, but now it's real game time. Wet tyres.
Yeah, Louis Large has just been unbeatable because even earlier he won by over 6 seconds, did Louis Large. Unbeaten all weekend thus far. Lucas Vos drove a brilliant race earlier on, picked up second place by the end, did Lucas Vos in the number 12. Jason Wilson was third place after gaining 4 places. Chris Thomas will be on the outside of row 2. He is the defending champion, of course. Charlie Whaley and Alexander Luck are row 3. Alex Luck gaining 17 places earlier on. Oliver Smith and Colin Davis, row 4. Alex Rowley and Ian Branfield, a happy birthday to him. They are on row 5. Basley and Zyra, involved in all sorts of drama, are row 6. Dickinson, who gains 14 places, is on row 7 with Chris Sawyer. Then it is Darren Whaley and Paul Warriner. Dan Martin and Ross Meakin are then next along on row 9. Row 10 is Tim Darlow and Dan Milner. Chris Wright and Adam Sadler, row 11. Kevin Ford and James Beecroft, he was involved in all sorts of drama as well, on row 12. Joe Piffner and James Moorcroft, row 13. Gary Anderson goes off the back row. Some penalties going out in that first final for the likes of Martin Wright, Sadler, Ford, Piffner and Moorcroft, who was actually the quickest on track, having started on the inside of row 2.
Well, on paper, as long as Zyra and Beecroft stay away from each other,
then
I think it will be
race.
fine. They'll actually not have too bad a race. But anyway, we're getting ready for the start, and it's all about Louis Large from the front. Away we go. They're going away again.
Now, Beecroft, has he come out? Is he on track?
That's true. Has Beecroft even come out onto the circuit?
Considering what actually happened.
Can't see him. Can't see the two.
Considering what actually happened earlier, I wouldn't be at all surprised if he's called it a day.
I can't see the number 2 out there. Yes, the number 2C, James Beecroft, I cannot see him. So that's an interesting one. We'll try and look at again on the back straight just to see if maybe he's got a transponder issue. But I haven't seen him.
It would come up on our screen if he has.
Well, there's several people coming up as in, so I don't know what that means. Oh, we've got somebody pulling out, though.
Oh, dear.
Who's that pulling out right from the front as well? That's one of the big names. Is that Lucas Vaus? That is Vaus. That is Lucas Vaus, the number 12. Having started from the front of the grid, Lucas Vaus now drops to the back. He has got problems, so it's going to be Chris Thomas all of a sudden is going to be effectively the front row. Yes, he's going to be there on the outside line.
I see him down the back straight. It doesn't look like he's particularly putting his hand up about anything.
I can't see Beecroft out there, you're right, so no Beecroft.
Nigel Edwards is trying to work out what's going on there. But
is Vaus opting to start the race from the back? What's he doing?
Well, that would be pretty crazy if he was.
Well, I think he's got a mechanical problem. He's got to be coming into the pit, surely. So Lucas Vaus will double check as he comes through, but he is there at the edge of it. Is he going to come into the pits? Yes, he is.
So
Vaus is out. Problem. What a disaster from the front row of the grid. Vaus is out. That means it is Large. Wilson and Thomas, Whaley and Luck, Smith and Davis, and then Rowley and Branfield. Time for another crack at the race start. Let's see if it's clean this time. So they come up to the grid. Revs rise. Is it going to be clean this time? Yes, it is. And it's a good start for Large. And problems on the straight for the 70. That's Daniel Martin. Dan Martin's going to come down the order. So Martin has got mechanical problems of his own. And that's his race over. But up at the front, Chris Thomas has got himself into second position. And he's got battles already.
Yeah, they're dropping like flies already. Louis Large leads the way though, and Chris Thomas into second, back into second. Oh, well, briefly, that now. Who's that? That's gone into second. I think that's Charlie Whaley in second place.
It is Whaley, yes. Whaley through to second.
Yeah, they make their way down to the first hairpin. Thomas is under threat in third place here. as they make their way out of the first hairpin, going through the third. I think
Thomas gets him back.
Yeah, Jason Wilson, I think that is that they are battling away with. Then it's Alex Rowley on the outside of Smith. It looks like Alex Luck has made a good few places.
Here comes Oliver
Tony
Smith.
Dickinson.
Smith trying to have a go up to 4th position with Alex Luck right in behind him. And that's a very bold move from Tony Dickinson. Tony Dickinson suddenly up there in the top 10. Goodness me, how has the 3-plate got up so far? Marcus Basley, I think, is behind him now, so Dickinson looks like he's picked up the mantle and had a really strong start. So, interesting stuff. But it looks to me as though our timing screens have frozen slightly, so we're now going to have to go to the computer-based service. So we'll look at large out in front. Second place is Thomas from Whaley, Smith, Wilson, Luck, Dickinson in 7th place. Whoa. Rowley, and then it is Davis and Zyra.
Good stuff there from Tony Dickinson. 6 places gained for him already. Not too sure what all the drama was with the mechanical issues, but no Lucas Vorse, no James Beecroft, Dan Martin down the field, Darren Whaley likewise. So some problems for some big names here as we head into the first hairpin. Out front.
Large again. It doesn't matter what it is, wet or dry. He just is supreme.
Yeah, unbeatable so far this weekend. As watch 4th place, Smith, looking like he's getting ready to line up a move. Oh, in fact, he runs deep on the brakes.
But look at the way he's come back at him. Beautifully done. Smith is now going to get a great run, not only on the 63 of Wilson, but also on Whaley. He's through, up into 3rd place behind Thomas. Great run. Oh, for Whaley! Whaley spins! So Whaley spins out of 4th position. What a disaster for Charlie Whaley. He just caught the back end coming around. It overtook the front, and now he rejoins down in about 23rd position. That is, 25th place make it now because the other two have gone through. Devastating for Charlie Whaley. That was a great chance to get on the podium. What a shame. Anyway, Louis Large leads it. Second is Thomas. We've got an amazing battle for 3rd place as we've got Smith, Wilson and Luck scrapping away for it. Jamie Zyra has come up into 6th position. Branfield is 7th. Dickinson is 8th. Then Rowley, Davis, Meakin, Sawyer, Anderson, Warrener and James Moorcroft. And then we have Large on the back straight, still leading comfortably. So let's see how things are currently progressing. Down the back straight, Oliver Smith is moving to cover to keep Jason Wilson at bay. Alex Luck is getting in there as well for 5th position. And right behind them is Jamie Zyra. Good recovery drive from Zyra in 6th position. But out in front it is Louis Large. 2nd position, still Chris Thomas. 3rd place, Smith. Luck has got through. Luck has got himself up into 4th position now in front of Wilson. Jamie Zyra closing in there as well. So brilliant start to proceedings at the moment. Large, Thomas, Smith, Luck, Wilson, Zyra, Branfield in 7th ahead of Tony Dickinson. So Dickinson's recovery continues unabated with Rowley and Davis in the top 10.
Yeah, Zyra going purple in the 2nd sector. Absolutely flying, isn't he? I think he's just picked up another place there down at the far end of the circuit.
So Large continues. How is he just marching on in front of this field? Oh, Luck's going for 3rd. Luck's trying to get one over on Oliver Smith for 3rd position, and Zyra has got through on Wilson for 5th.
Yep, that was down at the complex, I believe.
Oh, Lucas Faust has gone back out. So Lucas Faust is back out on the circuit.
Yeah, good stuff.
Meanwhile, Basley is right down at the back. The 5-plate, Marcus Basley, is right down in last place. So disaster from his point of view.
Now, this battle for 3rd is really starting to heat up, isn't it? You can see Alex Luck there at the back of this. He's had a tough job, a lot of overtaking to do this weekend, Alex Luck. But finally, he's in a position now where he can get an overall podium.
Well, Oliver Smith...
And he wouldn't be in a bad position at all in terms of points. Not quite in the top 10, but there's still a way to go in this race.
Good point. Oliver Smith is getting a little bit nervous about Alex Luck, actually, because Luck has already had a couple of good goes at him, but nothing doing as yet. A nice overtaking move there from Darren Whaley, who gets the move on Dan Martin, who struggled in the early stages. Charlie Whaley, by the way, for those who are trying to keep up with
changes. That's Zyra. Sorry, again, makes a move in the Mike Wilson complex.
So that's P4.
Yep.
That is P4, and that has moved him up past Alex Luck. So Jamie Zyra, again, suddenly has a really fast kart underneath him, and he's going to go for the inside.
Oh!
Great! And off goes the 33 of Oliver Smith. Zyra's going to get
and
past
contact
it.
again.
They come together again. Oh, well, my word, they bang wheels once, they bang wheels again, and Smith does not let him through.
Yeah, Zyra then in 5th place still. And it's Alex Luck. So there's a white flag out down at the Litchfield Bridge. But here we go. We're 3 wide, almost down towards hairpin 1. And Zyra's just been let through practically. So he goes past into the first hairpin. He was pretty much just let past. So not too sure. I think that was...
Here goes Luck.
That was Oliver Smith allowing Zyra through. I think... thought that he'd perhaps been a bit too aggressive in his defence.
I wonder if Oliver Smith, because he got nudged by Zyra off onto the grass, potentially when they banged wheels, he then came back onto the circuit and they banged wheels again, and I think maybe he wondered, am I going to get a penalty for that? Maybe I need to let him through.
Yeah. So I think they're teammates as well, but either way, they've just...
Well, Jamie Zyra now into third position with some pressure from Alex Luck, no doubt soon to come. But Louis Large leads. Another good lap from him, a 1:15.39.
Has there been a lap he's not led this weekend?
No. No, I don't think there has. He has literally led every single lap. So Louis Large...
I'm actually look into that.
Yeah, because we can figure out who led each lap of each race. So absolutely fantastic performance. But Louis Large is out in front. Thomas in second place, still trying to stay with him. Chris Thomas probably thought the 2018 season would be his to claim, but Louis Large has made the first weekend of the season absolutely incredible. So, there have been some laps he hasn't led, apparently, because Chris Thomas took the lead in the early stages of his first heat. But interestingly, other than that, there's been maybe one brief moment when Oliver Smith has led a single lap. So, absolutely incredible, but other than that, Louis Large has pretty much led the whole way. Yes, indeed, he led every lap of his last race. So what's that? 6, 8, 13. That's 27 laps before coming into this one. We're on lap 5 now, so he's led 32 laps out of the weekend. That is pretty incredible stuff. Large leading Thomas by 2.97. Zyra in third, Luck in fourth from Rowley, Branfield, Davis, Dickinson in 8th place, Ross Meakin. And now how about these two coming through? Moorcroft and Anderson have both made up 16 places.
Yeah, where are they then? They're 10th and 11th, of course. 21 and 92, the ones we're looking out for. As underneath the bridge goes Zyra and Luck, still battling for that.
The man on the move at the moment is Colin Davis. He's getting an awful lot of support on the sidelines there, but Davis is absolutely charging. He's giving Branfield a real wake-up call through the Litchfield Bridge, and he is going to try.
A change over the bridge. That was a change almost. Alex Luck briefly going through, and he is through now.
He's through now.
Yep,
Luck has got past Zyra, so that's
and Alex Brownlee closing in here. Alex Brownlee really starting to close in on these two now. So
I'm trying to keep an eye on Branfield and Davis as well, because Davis is really starting to give Branfield some pressure for the top 6. Is he going to go to the outside and then get the switch back on the undercut? Yes! Look at that from Davis. He's going to get up alongside. That's
and a bit of contact.
A little bit of a nudge there, but that's Branfield just trying to assert his position back. Not bad going at all, though. Davis is looking very threatening indeed for the top 6. He looks pretty strong in the midsection as well.
Closing in on these guys is Tony Dickinson now, third in last year's championship. Lucas Vos has set a new fastest lap.
Well, he's out on his own at the back, isn't he, Val? So from his point of view, it's just an extended test session. So there he is, in fact, Val's down the back straight. The leading two have gone through. Luck and Zyra in third and fourth. Fifth is Rowley. And then here comes Davis. Davis in front of Branfield, so he got him on the far side. Davis is into the top 6. Not sure where he made that move stick, but he's been threatening to do that for the last 2 or 3 laps. So Davis into the top 6. Now, what are his lap times like when he's not challenging? They're about even with Alex Rowley.
Zyra back past Alex Luck. They're side by side going in towards hairpin 1.
Zyra
and Rowley's going to get closer and closer. So it's Zyra
drifting sideways. Luck. Zyra. Luck's going to get alongside him and get the place back. Nicely done from Alex Luck. Really good driving. Meanwhile, Davis, look at Davis. He's just dropped Branfield. See you later, guys. I'm going after the top 5. I don't know about you. Brilliant work from Davis as he continues on. Meanwhile, the 3 Dickinson losing ground there to Branfield and the 77 of Ross Meakin. So Meakin makes up a place.
Well, he goes up the inside of this 70. Well, he has to get that play. Oh, and a spin. That's Meakin.
Oh, it's Meakin who's gone. And he very nearly tags another driver as he comes through. What was that? That was going to be Moorcroft.
Moorcroft, yeah.
Moorcroft
who's
misses
gained 16 places.
Yeah, Moorcroft misses him by millimetres as he rejoins the circuit. That could have been very nasty indeed. Large leads it. Thomas in second place. Nothing between these two in third and fourth. Luck and Zyra. Rowley's quite close. Davis is actually faster than all three of these guys in front of him, though. Davis is the third fastest driver on the circuit behind Thomas and Large. So this is a great run for Davis as he puts himself in a charge for a great run. Oh, 92, Gary Anderson. Contact, and everybody swerves to avoid him. Anderson just took a little bit too much curb on the outside there, and that's what's put him sideways. He manages to catch it, but Anderson very, very lucky to get away with that one.
Down towards hairpin number 2. Looks as if this battle for third's still going on.
Hang on, what's happened to Davis?
Yeah,
Davis is behind
he's lost the place to Tony Dickinson as well.
Branfield and Dickinson have both got through. I wonder, did Davis have an off there? Yes, he's
and
lost
Dickinson almost tagging Branfield there. As they head out of the second hairpin.
Davis comes back on the inside of Tony Dickinson. Has to back out of that one. Goodness me. I have a feeling that there might have been a slight off for Davis because he lost 3 seconds in that first sector, and he was the third fastest driver out on the grid, other than, well, I forgot about Lucas Vaus, actually. So Vaus was still in the mix there as well, on his own down at the back, just getting some testing laps in. Third position, is it Luck or Tyra? No, Luck. It is decidedly Luck now. He's pulled away. Tyra in 4th, Rowley in 5th. The mess battle on the circuit now is for 6th position, and it's Branfield from Dickinson and Davis. Warning flag, though, for Dickinson, so the officials are not liking the way things are going from his point of view at the moment. 12 seconds left. So this is going to be the penultimate lap. Sadler losing a place there on the way down the straight to Warrener. So Warrener gets through. And on the back straight, it's all go for Alex Luck as he looks good for a third position in front of Jamie Tyra. Large is into the chicane after the hairpins. Thomas is halfway down the straight that leads up to it. So Thomas is still chipping away wherever he can on Louis Large, but Large is just too good out in front. He just seems to have the measure of this car on this track, no matter the weather.
Yeah, by the end of the race, he would have led 38 laps this weekend. I think a possible 42 or
42, I think, by the time we were finished. So that is absolutely astonishing.
That's not bad at all for a class that really should have been wide open. Oh, look at this down towards the chicane. The number 28 losing.
Yeah, that's Darlow. Darlow gets the move on the inside of Warrener. So the 28 Warrener losing a place to Tim Darlow, the 18. Charlie Whaley is in that mix as well, trying to recover, of course, having been in the top 4 on the second lap before his spin. Luck, Zyra, and Rowley. Rowley's losing time, though. Yeah, he's dropping back.
He'll just be settled into the things now.
6th place is not done because we've still got Branfield, Dickinson and Davis sorting themselves out for that 6th place. Davis really needs to get his rhythm back. He was incredibly fast, but that off has unsettled him.
Yeah, and Joe Piffnam could make 14 places, 15 places in just a second.
He might be able to take 10th. Yep, he's right on the back of Sawyer. Can he get into the top 10, Joe Piffner? We'll have to see as he comes up. 6th position side by side. This could be tasty. Branfield and Dickinson absolutely together. And Davis is absolutely reeling them in as they jostle for position. Dickinson coming back on the inside of Branfield. They bang wheels. Davis is trying to get past them both. He's gone on the inside of Dickinson. Good move there from Davis. And now he's going to get a little bit of a nerve. Dickinson tries to force the issue and nerves his way past Davis in the second hairpin. So that's going to go to the line, but Louis Large is going to come out of the final turn, the checkered flag. He makes it 4 out of 4. Louis Large dominates at BF International. What a superb weekend. Thomas cruises home for second. Third position will be Alex Luck. What a result for Louis Large. The rookie comes in and cleans up. Tyra is 4th. Rowley is 5th, and who is going to be 6th as they come through? I've been so busy keeping an eye on the times. Let's see who is 6th over the line. It is going to be Dickinson from Davis. Davis in 7th place. And then it is Dickinson 6th, Davis 7th, Branfield is 8th from Moorcroft and Sawyer. Joe Piffner can't quite crack the top 10 in the end of it. But I would not at all be surprised if there were a couple of drivers within that top 10 who are had up in front of the stewards, because there was a couple of little incidents there towards the last 3 laps in that battle for the 6th place. The Dickinson, Branfield, Davis scrap. A couple of those moves from Dickinson, a little bit too much over the line for me personally.
Yeah, potentially one of them could get a bit of a penalty, but it didn't look like nothing too bad. But a good race overall. Louis Large made it a bit boring for the lead, but that's never a bad thing.
He made it academic for the lead, didn't he? Absolutely incredible how he
end.
Did that for 4 straight races, cleaning up as a rookie. When of all drivers you managed to beat, it's not just anybody, it's Chris Thomas, who pretty much goose-stepped his way to the title last year. It was that easy. But
earlier in the weekend, we thought Chris Thomas was in trouble in the championship, but he actually is going to walk away second in the championship. Louis Large has a maximum score of 196 points.
Perfect.
The Magic 196 points. Chris Thomas has 183. Jamie Zyra has 166. Alex Rowley 159 in 4th. Smith with 155 in 5th. Moorcroft 6th with 153. Then it is Charlie Whaley with 152. Wright with 150. Lucas Force with 149. Despite that. Despite what happened in that last final, and Wilson with 148.
Well, we're just seeing Jason Wilson coming in after his retirement from the race on lap 5, also out of the race on lap 5, and I completely missed it, and I do apologise. Oliver Smith just completely disappeared from the race. I'm not entirely sure what happened to Oliver. I didn't see him come off the road, but clearly his weekend ended rather bitterly, which is a real shame because he was the original pole sitter, let's not forget. He was fastest of all in qualifying on Friday.
Yeah, that's very true. He started his weekend perfectly, but not ended very well for him at all. As we now go into mini exciting. Before we go anywhere, Jake, of course, we don't have Joshua McLean on pole position.
No, we don't. He got docked,
didn't he?
didn't he?
Final, but he got a 10-second penalty.
And that means that the man who spun from the lead and fought his way to second, Ivan Lomliev, came up with a victory.
Yeah.
Walker was second. Jessica Edgar, the leading rookie, in third from that race. Daniel Bolton in fourth from Harvey Ryby, who, despite that accident at the finish line, he's okay. And he is racing, I should point out. He is on the grid. Then we have Matthew Higgins, Josh McLean, Dr. 7th, Rashan Chigarimbo, Dr. 8th. McComb was 9th. Tomlinson was 10th place. Josh Rowledge, Dr. 11th as well.
Incident, yeah.
And then Oliver Duffel in 12th place.
I mean, so we have, of course, Rowledge had that incident which stopped him a lap. Shigarimbo had that damage which would have probably dropped him the 10-second penalty to the front fairing, and Josh McLean also a front fairing penalty. So,
and I can tell you that incident.
So we've got 3 drivers at the back, all going to be charging their way through.
And we've got that post-race incident of Ryby and Higgins. I can tell you that no further action was taken. It was dubbed to be a racing incident at the end of that race,
right?
And both drivers were perfectly okay. So both of them will start. So that's really good news. And it means then that 3 out of the all 3 of the drivers from Cato Motorsport, who are all pretty new to this, let's not forget. They are in the top 5 in their second final. They're going to do a restart of this. This is going to be a round again. False start. So, yes, what we talk through...
I hear Harvey actually loves these conditions. So.
He really does. Yeah. He suits the wet. So we could see Harvey Ryby challenging for the podium here today in this one. But all 3 of the Cato Motorsport drivers, you know, they're one of the teams that have a simulator in their awning. So they might have a chance here, having done so many laps around this circuit in the last 72 hours on the virtual circuit as well as in the real one. They might be able to find something that some of the other drivers might not know about.
I mean, I'm most excited about watching the likes of Josh Rowledge from the back of the grid.
Yeah, that's going to be tasty.
And then Josh McLean and Shigarimbo from row 4, because, those 3 have basically been your 1, 2. They've been in that top 4, which has often involved Ivan Lomliev as well. So Lomliev has a chance to run away with this.
We got to break down on the back straight.
That's Edgar.
Is that Jessica Edgar?
I think so.
Oh no, that's Freddie Tomlinson.
It's
Freddie Tomlinson, the 62. So technical problems for for Freddie Tomlinson, the 62 there for Fusion Motorsport. What a disaster. So he's now going to be out of the race, and that is a really big disappointment for his first real venture into Super 1. And Freddie Tomlinson out of luck, unfortunately.
He's going to crawl back to the pits.
Back to the pits and retirement. What a shame, because Freddie is one of those drivers. I've watched him in several championships. He's got some really good steely nerved overtakes, and it's just not going to happen this time, unfortunately.
But one thing, I think Ivan, with the pace he's had, could break away with the likes of Rowledge, McLean and Chigarimbo down the order, so watch out for that.
Ivan Lomliev and Aaron Walker on the front. Edgar, Bolton, Ryby, Higgins, and then McLean and Rowley touch through, and it's a cracking start. But up already, there's a bit of a toss as they go through. Banging of wheels and through into second position. That looks like Edgar's come through. Jessica Edgar through into second position. Nice start from her.
Yes,
but there's absolutely no resistance from the KMS driver. Bolton is trying to get up in there as well. I think he's through to 4th.
I think he's into 3rd place.
Oh, that's 3rd. Yes, yeah. Walker's there in 4th place.
Yeah, and then in 5th place is Josh McLean as they head down to...
No, that's Harvey Ryby in 4th position.
Yeah, and then it's and then McLean in 5th place, and then Rowledge trying to go through to 6th place.
Rowledge and McLean hit each other.
And Rowledge diving up the inside for 4th place now. Oh, and Rashad Chigarimbo spun.
Oh, Chigarimbo and McComb come together.
Yeah, McComb's spinning in avoidance more than anything else. But, out of the chicane, it's Lomliev leading. We've got a 2-car breakaway.
That's Jessica Edgar in second place, giving him lots of hassle at the moment.
Yep, those two have broken away. And then is
that Edgar in the lead? I think that's Edgar making the move on the inside of Lomliev.
I don't think it is.
Oh, no, not quite. My apologies. I thought I saw...
Oh, and Rowledge is into third.
Oh, into the barriers!
That's Walker, is it?
Walker into the barriers! Unbelievable! I think, it's Bolton. Bolton's in the barriers there as he clatters out of third position. So, we've got Rowledge up to third, Walker fourth, McLean is fifth, then Duffel, Higgins, Ryby, Chigarimbo, Bolton recovers, and then it's McComb at the back of the field with Tomlinson already out. But Dan Bolton from fourth position.
Tomlinson back out the pits, so he'll rejoin the race.
Okay, so that's going to be an interesting one. Now,
and I thought we nearly had a change for lead, but Josh Rowledge 8 places on this opening lap, and further back is that Matthew Higgins going to try and move on Oliver Duffel. No, it isn't, but just ahead there was a move. That was McLean on Aaron Walker.
Yep, so Josh McLean back in the fourth position, and guess who the next target is going to be?
Josh
as Edgar
Rowledge
tries to have a go for Lomliev. But yes, the next target... Oh, spin! Now that is the 33 that's gone around. That's Duffel. So having recovered from his earlier incident, Duffel is going to drop back out of the top 6. Yeah. That's a real shame. But look, Rowledge has caught up to these two up in front. Rowledge has caught them already.
Clearly fired up for this one after the penalties of the first final. Josh Rowledge goes for the move. That's his favourite place to overtake.
Rowledge
into
the
left-hander.
So Rowledge gets Jessica Edgar. Now he's after Ivan Lomliev. And it looks as though that was a bit of a clumsy overtaking manoeuvre from Higgins trying to get on the move on the inside of Walker there.
And Tomlinson, problems for him once again. So something not right with Tomlinson's kart. But Rowledge is now into that second place. Quickest on track, unsurprisingly. 8/10 ahead to try and close down as we hit the Litchfield Bridge for the third time. Lomliev is going to have a tough task of stopping Josh Rowledge, because Josh Rowledge is not messing around here. As further back, Higgins is about to challenge Harvey. Ryby is out.
No, that's Walker.
That's Walker.
That's Walker. They've been battling for the last 3 or 4 corners, and Walker just managed to keep Higgins at bay over the bridge. And then he can.
Rowledge is going for lunch.
Lomliev drifts out wide. McLean's there. Lomliev goes off on the grass, tries to cut across on Jessica Edgar, and Edgar has to hang on there in third position. McLean's still there in fourth, and then up the inside to defend once again. Walker keeps McComb at bay. Oh, this is getting very exciting for the lead, though, as these three continue to battle. Jessica Edgar, fair play to her, is not allowing herself to be intimidated. She's getting really stuck in.
Yeah, well, Rowledge came from a long way back for that move. Thought Lomliev was going to turn in. I thought we were going to see an incident, but Lomliev, in the end, actually ran a little bit wide on the exit, and that's really delayed him. But he's getting a push from Jessica Edgar now as they head through turns 1 and 2. And underneath the bridge, and Rowledge, as a result of that, does not have a lead as we enter the bridge then for the 4th time. New fastest lap for Josh Rowledge, despite that move, 1:15.6 on the last lap. Then it's a gap of 1.3 seconds to Josh McLean.
Ryby's had an off on the last sector and dropped down to 11th position. He was up there just in front of Oliver Duffel. So problems then, unfortunately, for Ryby as he recovers. But great to see him back out there after his earlier shunt. Rowledge, Lomliev and Jessica Edgar in there. But Rowledge, how he's come up from 11th on the grid to lead already. Absolutely perfection. Lomliev still battling away with Jessica Edgar and signalling frantically to Jessica, come on, Rowledge is getting away. Let's work together. But Jessica Edgar, this is the first time she's really run in the podium and on merit. So this is her best opportunity to see if she can get one over on Lomliev.
Well, Lomliev made a mistake there, ran wide under brakes and got a really poor exit, and you can see what that's done for.
But look at McLean. McLean's catching all of them. So Josh McLean's not done yet. He's up into 4th position, as we know, and he is chasing after all of these guys up in front. So Rowledge, Lomliev, Edgar, McLean. Then it's Aaron Walker having... Oh, no, it's Higgins now in front of Walker. Yeah. So Matthew Higgins has got through, still having a great weekend, the Welshman, on his first ever visit to PF International. Duffel in 7th, Chigarimbo in 8th, trying his best to survive. Then it is Bolton in front of McComb and Harvey Ryby.
Down the Litchfield Bridge, here we go then. It's Josh Rowledge getting away now. Another new fastest lap last time, 1:15.4. Lomliev just has no response to the pace of the Strawberry Racing driver. Jessica Edgar still keeping Lomliev very honest. So it's Strawberry Racing, Coles Racing, and then the two Fusion Motorsport drivers of Edgar and Josh McLean. And then we go back to Higgins. After that, it's Walker, Duffel, Shigarimbo. Not where we would expect him to be, but he's, of course, had a spin so far this race. Then it's Bolton, McComb, and Harvey Ryby.
Well, Jess Edgar is having some great opportunities to go for Ivan Lomliev. The thing is, Lomliev is one of the most talented drivers out in this field. But in these conditions, he appears to be really struggling as he proves the point by getting right over the curbs. The back when the wheel nearly kicks him out. The thing is, Lomliev is one of the lighter drivers in this field. He weighs about 3 bags of sugar, so in the wet, he's got absolutely no traction compared to the other drivers out there. So the fact that he's hanging on to second position is absolutely sensational driving from Lomliev. But Edgar's giving him a really hard time. She tried to go for the move, just ended up rubbing the back of Lomliev's car, got out of sorts a little bit, manages to catch it though before she ends up spinning around, but Josh McLean is closing in on both of them.
I think it's just Rowledge has just an extra edge over the rest of the field more than anything else. I don't think any of these three drivers are going particularly slow.
There you go. Edgar's got Lomliev. Lomliev drifts out wide and Edgar uses the opportunity, and now McLean's going to get through as well, is he? Lomliev goes out wide. And McLean gets through in a third position. So McLean gets third off Lomliev. So it's two Fusions in second and third. But out in front, it's a Strawberry cart. And out in fourth position, Lomliev's trying again on McLean. And they're nudging each other. Jessica Edgar's loving this. She's out in second and she's got clear.
Yeah, there was a bit of contact when McLean made that move. And I think we saw Ivan Lomliev return the favour into the chicane. So it's done neither of them any favours, and they're still battling. They're still
nudging each other. This is the thing. We've said this before in the Zyra and Beecroft incident. Stop pushing each other to the side of the circuit. You've got to let the officials do their job. If you have an incident, talk to them about it afterwards. Don't take the rule books in your hands out on the circuit. And there's a warning flag for McLean for that incident before. So I think it's fair to say the officials having a look at the McLean incident and thinking, I don't think so, mate. That wasn't as clean as you wanted it to be.
Well, Matthew Higgins is now closing in on these guys. He's just done a 1:15.75. So last time around, Matthew Higgins was the quickest on track of anyone.
And the fastest in the third sector of anybody was Duffel.
Yes.
So Duffel's going well.
With all the chaos going on up ahead, Matthew Higgins is now closed in, and that's a podium position.
Lomliev and McLean, look, they're battling away with each other. This is getting silly between these two, and look who's going to get them both if they're not careful. Lomliev, it looked to me, braked a little bit too early down into that second hairpin. I have a feeling that there's going to be some conversations about that one. And poor Josh McLean basically had nowhere to go but into the back of him. And, of course, that's a front fairing issue if that becomes a problem.
Pretty much. So I think it was pretty evident what was going on there. But it's not yet finished. It looks as if they are just battling for third place, and they've lost interest in a race win today. And
Rowledge has got it, hasn't he? And Jess Edgar, fair play to her. She's doing a great job there in second place.
If these guys are both going to hit each other and pick up penalties, then Matthew Higgins will be on the podium.
Yeah, if I was Matthew, I'd just stay and let those two battle it out, because they may take each other off the circuit anyway if they keep this up, and Higgins will get third place anyway. But it's a really interesting battle. Here comes McLean at the inside of Lumley again, and they drift. They nudge each other. It's getting silly again as Lomliev has to defend from Higgins. Higgins is now getting in there. He's going to work with Lomliev to try and catch up to McLean once more. Lomliev is there under braking, and he's going to have another opportunity into the second hairpin, I think. So Lomliev doing his best to close up on Josh McLean. Sixth place, by the way, is the 33 of Duffel, who's really starting to come into his own.
Really wide in the second hairpin there. And
well, Higgins gets through. So Higgins is through, no problem at all. Lomliev's going to try and get straight back up the inside. No hesitation at all. Clatters over the curbs, though. That's going to compromise him on the exit, and that's letting McLean get away. And with 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock, that's going to really give things a bit of a problem for Lomliev to catch back up to Josh McLean. Meanwhile, Josh Rowledge out of the final turn, just doing what he does best, having a great run. But for me, I think there's about 3 laps to go. So Rowledge is still leading. Second is Jess Edgar. The gap is coming, I thought it was coming down. It's about even, actually, as Rowledge stretches out the gap to 2.8 over Jess Edgar.
Yeah,
McLean is there.
Rowledge has got this in the bag. There's only a minute and a half to go. He can take it easy now. And Edgar, I think, would just be very pleased with a second place.
Yep.
But it's all about this third place. We don't know if any of those drivers, if McLean or Lomliev are carrying a penalty now.
This is a very good point, because obviously they've been nerfing and bashing and bumping and boring all the way through this race, those two, McLean and Lomliev. Clearly they've got a score to settle with each other, but Matthew Higgins just needs to stay there in 5th position ultimately, because if they continue to battle, he can work with Lomliev to push him slightly further forward, but if they continue to scrap away, he could pick up a very tasty podium as a result of all of this. So from Matthew Higgins' point of view, he's not doing anything he shouldn't be doing. He's just coasting around, doing a great job. This is Matthew Higgins' first time to PF International, let's not forget, and he's taking it to drivers that have got a lot more experience around this circuit. It's been a difficult afternoon at the office for the likes of Walker, Bolton and Ryby. Chikarimbo's struggling as well, because they've all fallen out of that top 6. Walker, Bolton and Ryby, don't forget, all 3 of the Kato Motorsports drivers started this race in the top 5. Circumstances really kept them out of it. Bolton in the wall at the end of the second lap when he was running in 4th place. Could easily have been in this battle for the podium, and Walker and Ryby struggling as well in these conditions.
Higgins has gone past
Higgins has got Lomliev. That's interesting. So Higgins, he's through in a 4th position. Can he now get after McLean? So that's going to be very interesting. If McLean is carrying a penalty, then Higgins has pretty much got 3rd.
From what we saw, he must be. It was a real heavy contact into the second hairpin.
I think both of them must be. Both Lomliev and McLean must have penalties to come out at the end of this one.
But we won't assume, but at the moment, Higgins is going to finish 4th place.
Just look at Rowledge, though. Rowledge is just absolutely serene. He's barely working the kart at all. He's just tiptoeing his way over the curbs. He's keeping it calm, nice and steady. He's pulling out a few hundredths of a second per lap over Jess Edgar. He's not overworking the kart, not pushing it too hard. He's found a rhythm he likes. He's pushing the kart into the apexes, just letting it drift off the edge of the corner. This is a masterclass drive for Josh Rowledge, and as he goes into the final lap, this victory will be not only beautifully executed, but well deserved.
Yeah, Josh Rowledge has driven fantastically. He did exactly what he needed to by having an aggressive start to the race. Really got his elbows out, and ever since then he got himself straight up into the top 6 on that opening lap, and then from there he's just been able to pick off the key players in terms of fighting for the lead. And since then, Josh Rowledge hasn't looked back. He's extended his lead now to almost 3 seconds. Behind that, you've got Jessica Edgar in second place.
I wanted to talk about Jess Edgar on the last lap, because let's be fair, this has been Jessica Edgar's finest ever race performance. You've got to think about it from the point of view that this is the national championship. The conditions are atrocious. They're very slippery. She is coping very well with them and has asserted herself with some magnificent overtaking moves of her own. She's got herself into second position purely on merit of the fact that she has got her elbows out and got it sorted. She's not been frightened. She has got herself into the mix, and it's well deserved for Jessica Edgar to pop up in second place. Clearly, Abby Pulling is not going to be the only major player from the female contingent in Super 1, but out they come. Josh Rowledge is going to get the victory. A magnificent drive, and he has well and truly walked away with it from 11th on the grid to 1st. Josh Rowledge wins at PF. Magnificent. Jess Edgar in second place. She can be delighted with that. McLean crosses the line in 3rd from Higgins and Lomliev. 6th across the line is Oliver Duffel. Then it is going to be Rushan Chikarimbo in 7th place as they come home. Then it will be the 3 drivers for Kato Motorsport, led by Aaron Walker, in front of Daniel Bolton and Harvey Ryby. So much more could have happened from those guys, but well done to them anyway in their first major weekend. Then it is Jacob McComb, and Freddie Tomlinson retired, of course, with the mechanical problems with the kart. But for Josh Rowledge, that was superb. Last lap of the race, though, Josh McLean got the fastest lap, just to prove a point. Yeah, McLean will leave then, as long as the results stay as they are, as the championship leader, tied on points with Josh Rowledge, both on 182 points. Lomliev threw away his championship lead, really. He's on 180 points, 178 points for both Edgar and Walker. So 4 points, that is, between the top 5 I tell you
drivers.
What, Mini X30 is going to be mega this year. It's just going to keep getting better close. And better.
And then we have Chikarimbo, 6th place. I feel very sorry for Chikarimbo. I think he definitely would have fought for a podium had he not had that spin. So he's going to be the hard charger at Wilton Mill. He was 6th place. He's going to be 6th place in the championship, 170 points. Then it will be both Bolton and Higgins with 166 points. Well done to Matthew Higgins, particularly in that second final on his first visit to the circuit to take 4th place. McComb 9th place, 162 points. Ryby has 159 points in 10th place.
Goodness me. That was a lot to take in the Mini X30s. We now just have 5 races to go in the day here at PF International for the first round of the Two-Tone Money Super 1 British Karting Championship here at PF International with the Trent Valley Karting Club. And it is going to be the man himself. The man who basically runs around this circuit so many times he could probably drive it in his sleep and still get great lap times. Oliver Hodgson from pole position will start the Senior X30 race from the front of the grid. The big one, though, is Derek Morgan getting a penalty that has dropped him down onto the 9th row of the grid alongside Alexander Huang. So it's Oliver Hodgson and Owen Byatt on the front row of the grid. That could get very interesting because we know how strong Byatt can be in the wet as well. Levi King on the 2nd row with Morgan Porter. Elliot Harvey and Joe Turney will be together on the 3rd row of the grid. Lewis Malin and Bradley Pennell will be on the 4th row from Thomas Turner and Ewan Wilson. Then we have Sean Butcher and Rory Hudson on row 6 from Saul Robinson and Scott Jackson. Then Jensen Brown and Rashid Ghanem. Derek Morgan, as we mentioned, and Alexander Huang. Then it is Cole Kilner and Richard Morris, Paul Stewart and Kieran Long, Jake Douglas and Josh Thompson-White, Sky Siddle, Luke Hughes, Matt Armstrong, Eleanor Morris, Anna Morris, Reese Ushijima, and then 2 big names from the back fighting their way through in these tricky conditions, Henry Laws and Archie Tillett, who were non-finishers in the previous final. That's going to be great watching them storm through.
Yeah, it's of course some big names getting some penalties. The biggest name, of course, being Derek Morgan, who actually finished in 4th place in that first final. So he's got a lot of work to do now from 17th on the grid. Oliver Hodgson, though, will be pole position, as Jake mentioned there. Brilliant weekend for him. He won by just over 3 seconds from Owen Byatt in that first final. 3rd place will be Levi King. Was 2nd for a long time in that first final, but left 3rd. Morgan Porter, he gained 6 places in the opening final to finish 4th. Elliot Harvey was up 7 places to finish 5th. So 2 drivers who have made a lot of progress and have put themselves in a good position now for this one. Joe Turney has been there or thereabouts all weekend, going off P6. Malin 7th. Bradley Pennell up 10 places in the first final. He's going to start 8th, completing the top 10. Will be Turner and Wilson. It's worth mentioning Butcher's transponder wasn't working earlier, but he finished 11th with fastest lap.
Let's see if we're going to get another lap. No, we are. We are going to get another false start there. So the drivers will go around one more time. And that just increases the tension and the pressure a little bit for some of the drivers in the mix.
Well, just to pick up on that, Sean Butcher, obviously his transponder wasn't working, wasn't it? So we were trying to work out where he was, but it was pretty much impossible considering how close it was. But 11th with fastest lap makes him definitely one to watch. I think the best way to describe that first race was it was very, very feisty. It was a lot of, unless you were Oliver Hodgson, you were having to do a lot of overtaking. So really, I don't know what the tactics are going to be. I think either they're just going to write off the fact that Oliver Hodgson's going to win this, or it's going to be, right, let's change our tactics. Let's actually work together and go after him.
Well, a very smoky start in wet conditions has got Dan Ashton choking on his lunch, but that just spices up things a little bit because we've seen a few drivers in the senior classes having difficulties off the line when you have to go around for another formation lap. A couple of them have really struggled in these conditions to get themselves up to speed when you've got to go round for another formation lap.
Well, they've got themselves one more lap just to get used to the conditions. The track beginning to get a little bit more, beginning to get a little bit better, but
not sure what the weather's doing either. Is there currently rain at the moment? It's not really clear what is actually happening in terms of the weather. It's there or thereabouts, but there's definitely still rain in the air as they come off the final turn and down the home stretch. Hodgson, Byatt, King, Porter, Harvey, Turney, Malin, Pennell, Turner, Wilson. Let's race. This time it's a clean one, and Byatt is straight on the attack, but he's going to get clattered into. Byatt spins, and he's going to go straight into the barriers. He manages to get away from that, but Owen Byatt from 2nd on the grid is clattered off the circuit and mullered off onto the grass.
Morgan Porter's gone up to 2nd place as a result of all of this, and 3rd place is Lewis Malin. In fact, it's Elliot Harvey, in 3rd place. 4th place is then Levi King, but he's got one of the Comcart guys trying to come around the outside of him. Harvey takes 2nd.
Well, Harvey does take 2nd and chops across on Porter.
Brad Pennell is in 5th place, but he may lose that to Lewis Malin.
He's going to shoot by on the far side, and maybe Levi King's going to have to do some serious defending. He is up on the curbs, So Levi King in 4th place. Oh, Sky Siddle very nearly got rammed in the back and clattered off the circuit there as they tiptoe their way through the chicane on the first lap. So a lot of drivers having to deal with the rough and the smooth there. Owen Byatt has caught up to the back of the field again, I can tell you. So he is getting back on with it, even though it's been a very tricky day at the office. So he is still getting himself back up the order. Hodgson is the leader. Second is Harvey. Great opportunity this for him. Porter in 3rd place. Then it's King, Pennell, Malin, Turner, Robinson, Joe Turney, and Ewan Wilson ahead of Butcher.
Yeah, Oliver Hodgson doesn't exactly need people to make it easy for him, but that all kicking off at the start has kind of made his task just a little bit easier. The reason it all happened is someone came from about the 3rd or 5th row flying up the inside into turn 1.
I think that might have been Harvey.
I think
actually
it was Harvey, and then it was just 3 into 1.
It was Harvey, King, and Byatt that locked wheels together, and Byatt was the one that just got spat out.
Luke Hughes is on the charge. He picked up a penalty in the earlier final, and he's up 11 places into 15th. And we also have Henry Laws up 12 into 19th. So 2 drivers picking up penalties earlier are moving forward pretty well at the moment. Particularly bad starts, of course, for Owen Byatt and Cole Kilner as well, who's dropped 10 places.
Okay, so a very angry Owen Byatt has just picked up 2 places in one corner as they come off the second hairpin. Make that 3 now in the next lap. So he's going very well, but Harvey is closing in on Hodgson. He's got the fastest lap in the first and second splits.
I'll tell you what, Harvey likes the wet at PFI. He's won races at PFI in the wet by some distance, in the junior classes in particular. He loves these conditions round here, and I wouldn't at all be surprised if he's able to go quicker than Hodgson. Whether he can catch him is another story, but in terms of setting fastest laps, I wouldn't be surprised to see it.
Well, Hodgson has won everything bar the kit bag draw this morning. He's been absolutely incredible all weekend.
Oh, but 3/10 quicker is Elliot Harvey through the first sector alone.
Yeah,
so the Dan Holland racing driver really closing in.
Harvey's going to try and take it to him on this one. He's going to come into the second hairpin, working very hard indeed. 3rd place, trying to get grip, Morgan Porter, then Levi King, Brad Pennell going well in 5th, Turner, Malin, Turney still up in there in the top 10, then Butcher, Robinson and Ewan Wilson from Huang, Jackson, Hudson, Thompson, White, Laws, and Richard Morris up into 17th. Eric Morgan's not made a lot of progress.
No,
and then not. Jensen Brown and Rashid Ghanem.
Well, I tell you what, Elliot Harvey's taken another 10th out of Hodgson in the second sector, so the gap is going to be at least, if he can match him through the last sector, around 8 to 9 tenths rather than 1 1.25 seconds. Let's see across the line.
Oh, there was a bit of a change for position just outside the top 5 there.
So the gap's come down to 7.5 tenths between Hodgson and Harvey. And
it's these two side by side.
That's Saul Robinson in the number 72 going past Alexander Huang. That's their battle for 11th place.
They're still side by side because they've gone into turn 3 as well. They've been at that since about the penultimate
just
corner.
Just behind Thomas Turner, there's been a change. Joe Turney's gone past Lewis Malin, and over the bridge, it looks like Pennell is trying to battle with. It looks like Thomas Turner was trying to go past Brad Pennell, but Joe Turney is up into 7th place.
So Turney is once again on the march. He's having a great 2018 season.
He's been knocking on the door, hasn't he, of the top 5? But
in both of his classes as well, because also in senior Rotax he's been very strong.
We'll see him in that later on, where let's take a quick check of the grid. He will start from 6th place. Now look at the 2 leaders, because this is the closest Hodgson has been to losing the race lead, I think, since the start of a race all weekend.
Oh, a bit of a slide wide there for one of the...
That's Derek Morgan.
That is Derek Morgan. Morgan's having a nightmare by his own standards. The 16 is given the warning.
But look at Hodgson. Is he going to lose the race lead on the next lap?
I think Harvey's got him lined up. This is going to be a great run for Harvey. Will finally Hodgson be defeated here? Can he be vanquished by Elliot Harvey as he charges after him through 3 and up towards 4? Alexander Huang's losing places.
Brad Pennell was up to 4th place, by the way, and there was a change going under the bridge. Now let's try and pick out who that was. Oh, it's, I think, just in that 4th place battle, I think Thomas Turner may have made a...
I think you're right.
No, in fact, he was challenging, wasn't he? With he's actually lost a place to Joe Turney. So
Turney
they're
has gone
battling
up to
away.
6. So Turney is now chasing after Pennell and King. Here is Harvey on Hodgson. This is going to be the battle we've been waiting for in this class. Hodgson has been the master all weekend, but now Elliot Harvey is on him, and we know how strong Harvey is in the wet. He could be the man to defeat Oliver Hodgson, and he's going for it into Bobby Game corner. Hodgson is practically defending at this point. We've still got 6 minutes on the clock. Look at this squabble further back down the order as well, led by the 16 of Luke Hughes. Morgan's in there. Ushijima is in there. So too is Long, Morris, Douglas, and Eleanor Morris.
At the last corner, Harvey's now in the race lead.
So Harvey's got through. He must have done that in the Mike Wilson complex. He must have got him there on that long sweeping right-hander. That's the blind spot for us. So Harvey has got through into the lead. Hodgson in second place. And this could be disappear sayonara, son.
Yeah, I don't think Oliver Hodgson would be.
Oh, we've got a spin of the first corner. Somebody's ended up behind the barrier. Now, who is that that's gone?
Oh, yeah.
Who is that that's gone off there? That's a really weird place to have spun off to. Ended up behind the green barriers.
Have they pulled off? Or, well, back to the track because Thomas Turner's going up the inside of Brad Pennell. Turner makes the place. Butcher tried to go with him.
That's Scott Jackson on the bottom end of the top 10. Jackson has gone off there. That is a really big one to fall from the mooks. So Scott Jackson, the rookie, who was the leading rookie up to that point, don't forget, has whether he got clattered into or whether he spun off on his own, but Scott Jackson, the leading rookie, is out of the race. What a disaster.
Elliot Harvey trying to check out front, but main battle on track is for 4th place. It was being led by Brad Pennell, but I think Joe Turney is actually leading it now as they come out of the last corner. Morgan Porter goes across the line in 3rd, and Joe Turney crosses the line in 4th place. So indeed he is. So a couple of places made for Joe on that last lap. Then it's Levi King, then it's Thomas Turner, then it's Brad Pennell, then Lewis Malin, then Sean Butcher, and then Ewan Wilson. Josh Thompson-White up 12 places in 12th, and Henry Laws up 18 places into 13th.
4.5 minutes for Joe Turney to try and eat into the advantage of Morgan Porter. But look, he is dropping King and Turner. So Turney definitely has fast pace. Fastest in the first sector as well. And it looks to me as though we've had Sky Siddle retire from the race as well. So Siddle is out. Jackson is out. And, disaster from both of their points of view. But Siddle making her first ever full-time appearance in Super 1, of course. She tried the last round of the championship at PF last year. And despite the fact she didn't get the results she wanted, she was absolutely loving it. So they've committed full-time this year with Mark Baines Motorsport. So now she's learning well, but a disappointing end to the day. But the 41 has just been given a warning flag. That's Rory Hudson battling away with Henry Laws, who has come up to 13th from the back row.
Harvey crosses the line, and he's extended his lead to 0.8 of a second. 3rd place Morgan Porter all on his own at the moment.
Turney is dropping these guys behind him, though, King and Turner.
Turner finally starting to come into a really good position now. It says, and that's the spin. Oh, is that Brad Pennell?
Brad Pennell has spun mid-corner. Goodness me, that was a nasty moment.
That was either Pennell or Malin, but I'm pretty sure.
Oh, close run thing, that one. We'll have to double check to see if it's Pennell or Malin.
Now that's the number 10.
No, that's Pennell, so it is Malin.
I see Malin there as well. So
who is it that doesn't come through? Oh, it's Saul Robinson.
Oh, dear.
Saul Robinson dropped it there. Now, he's had a nightmare weekend anyway, so that just makes things go from bad to worse. So Robinson spins out of the first corner, and there's a little bit too much curb all the way through turn 2.
Perhaps. No, he looked like he was through turn 1, it went wrong, so either dipped a will on the grass on the outside or took way too much curb and just...
or did he get some help? That's the other thing as well. You always wonder.
You never like to assume, but you never know.
2 minutes 17 on the clock as Harvey is not pulling away from Hodgson, but they are both setting fast pace. Fastest in the first sector, Luke Hughes. Interesting one there. So
he was quick yesterday. He just didn't have the best first final, so...
Well, Joe Turney is faster than Morgan Porter in 3rd position, but he's got a massive gap to make up. I think...
Now, there's been a change. Sean Butcher's gone past Brad Pennell.
Yes, he has.
But Brad Pennell returns a favour.
Yeah, very easy to get that manoeuvre done again. But Joe Turney, trying to get away from Thomas Turner, is not going to be easy.
Yellow flags.
Yellow flags again at turn 3. That's under the Litchfield Bridge and withdrawn pretty quickly. So somebody's going to tumble down the order. But Thomas Turner is closing up on Joe Turney again. So it's Turner and Turney once again. But Joe Turney hanging on to that 4th position for the moment. Now the one who went off is Cole Kilner. He's the leading rookie now. So Kilner went off at turn 3. So it seems to be the rookies are really struggling to get the hang of all of this. So who would be the leading rookie then? Because we've lost 2 of them. We've lost Jackson and Siddle.
Tell you what, back to the leaders.
Two off of the chicane. Sorry, Chris, we've had 2 of them go off of the chicane. So again, the battle's getting very rough. Hodgson for the lead, and they bang wheels. Hodgson's through on Harvey.
Yeah, well, it looked like it was coming for a while. Just as you were picking up what happened in the chicane there, Hodgson was closing in on Harvey, and he's done this at just the right time.
But Harvey's coming back.
Harvey needs to fight back as we get to the hairpins. Hodgson taking a lot of curb over the bridge there, and seems to be working for him because he's pulled away now, heading down to the first hairpin.
I think this is going to be the penultimate lap as well, so they need to be very careful about how they go about this. Because, of course, we're losing a lot of time in the wet weather conditions.
Oh, as Harvey just lost his chance to go for the race win. He's lost a race lead.
Oh, I don't know. I think he's still got some good knowledge around here in the wet, and he's still very feisty. I think he could come back at him. He is gaining ground in the second sector as they come through. Yeah, Hodgson slightly quicker than Harvey, but I don't think it's going to be enough to ruin Harvey's chances. He's very strong on that far side of the circuit, don't forget. So if he can continue to keep the pace on him, there is a chance. We're out of time, so we go into the last lap. Hodgson has got Harvey back for now, though, but there is 1 lap to go. Can Harvey catch him back?
Well, the gap is 0.4 of a second then as we go underneath the bridge for the last time. It's Hodgson leading Elliot Harvey. Morgan Porter has just set a new fastest lap in 3rd place, but Hodgson at the moment controlling the pace out front, but Harvey definitely closing in. Let's see what happens over the bridge that time.
On the inside for Hodgson.
Good line that for Hodgson. Takes a lot of curb and it seems to be working for him, whereas Elliot Harvey definitely avoiding that line, but Elliot Harvey has got about half a lap just over to try and make this move.
I don't think he's
going to be able to do it.
No, I think Hodgson might have enough in the tank here. Harvey almost got him, but now there is going to be just the last few corners of this lap to go. Harvey's going to try and come back at him, and he is throwing everything at Hodgson, but it's not going to be enough. He runs wide on the right-hander coming off of the back straights, but this is going to be a Hodgson victory. He almost got defeated there. That was a bit of a wake-up call for Oliver Hodgson. Just when we thought we'd seen the best of him, he brings that back from the deck.
Oh, and Harvey's
binned it on the last lap. Harvey bins it, gets it back together. He'll come through 3rd. Hodgson wins it. Porter is going to be 2nd. Harvey going to be 3rd.
It's going to be Joe Turney.
Joe Turney takes 3rd. Turney is 3rd across the line from Turner and Harvey. Elliot Harvey throws 2nd place away on the final lap. Unbelievable. When you think you've seen everything.
He actually started to back off through the long right-hander, and then as he came through the left, he just got on the power far too much.
Gut-wrenching.
And it slid him into the barriers.
Well, 6th place for King.
No room for error at that corner as well. If you run wide, you're in the barrier.
6th place for King, 7th for Pennell, 8th for Butcher, 9th for Malin. An amazing drive for Thompson White to come through to 10th.
And I'll tell you what, he was lucky that he didn't actually get buried into the barriers. He actually bounced off the barriers, spun round 360. So in a way, he got kind of lucky there. But, he's going to take a very, very long journey back into the pits, I reckon.
What a shame for Elliot Harvey. That was such a great opportunity. And that, of course, means he's only going to be 9th in the championship as he comes out of this.
And he was...
Yeah, he's taking forever to come home, isn't he? Look at that. He doesn't want to come back in. He doesn't want to believe it.
No.
11th place for Wilson. 12th for Henry Laws. Hodgson, fastest up of the race on the last lap, just to rub it in. 13th place for Jensen Brown. Then Hudson, Paul Stewart, Owen Byatt recovering well to 16th, considering he was off at turn 1. But that's so near and so far. Hughes in 17th. Tillett recovered well to 18th in the end, making up 14 places from dead last. Armstrong 19th from Richard Morris. Then it's Kilner, who does emerge as the leading rookie, by the way. Despite his spin, he does beat Rashid Ghanem, the Lebanese driver. Then Ushijima, Huang, Saul Robinson, Kieran Long, Derek Morgan, Anna Morris, and then Jake Douglas and Eleanor Morris come home. with the retirements, the two rookies, Scott Jackson and Sky Sidor. Jackson retiring when he was in the midst of the top 10 battle and leading rookie at the time, so that's going to be doubly painful. But for Elliot Harvey, nobody's going to feel more sick to their stomach than him.
Yeah, of course. Spinning out from second when he had it in the bag and
when he was leading,
finishing fifth. Well, big shout outs. Josh Thompson-White up 14 places to finish 10th. Henry Laws gained 19 places to finish 12th. Archie Tillett gained 14 places to finish 18th. So some big movers there in what was a very good race.
Not bad from Luke Hughes either.
Oliver
He was up
Hodgson,
9.
on paper it will look like Oliver Hodgson cruised to victory, winning by 3.67s, but that could be further from the truth.
Yeah, that's not the story, is it? He almost got beaten today.
And I tell you what, as Show Tony came over the line there, he looked over his shoulder in third and went, how did that happen?
Yeah, how did I get on the podium? We're going to be talking to him later and he'll be like, I don't know, what did happen there? Anyway, Junior X30 coming up next, and this is going to be an interesting one because we've got so many comeback kids in this particular grid, thanks to that last race, which was arguably the best race of the weekend thus far. Clayton Ravenscroft on pole position from Luke Whitehead, second on the grid. Dragan Pinsent and Alessandro Serenetti. That's an interesting one, although up in the top 6 we should have Josh Ratican, but he's taken a penalty and been demoted all the way down to the 13th row of the grid alongside Caden McQueen, who also got penalties. Also docked were Behrman, Cosseteng, Barrett and Ellswood, so some really big names that should be further forward. This again in greasy slippery conditions is going to be entertaining. Ravenscroft, Whitehead, Pinsent and Serenetti at the front. Joe Taylor is 5th. He's one to watch. Alex Walker 2 alongside him on the 3rd row. Reggie Dewey, the Northern Irishman Tom Edgar. Then Shane White and Rufus Hunt rounding out the top 10. Axel Laflamme needs to make the progress he demonstrated from the weekend. 11th on the grid is not worthy of where he's been all weekend long, so he'll be fighting forward. Oliver Gray alongside him in the 6th row. Then Alex Lay and Nelson King. Lewis Thompson, who needs to come back too. Matthias Salonen, who's been on the improve and upswing all weekend. Then Tom Mills and Ali Ackerby. Lewis Gilbert, 10th row of the grid. There's no way he should be down that far. Sam Heading alongside him on the grid. Theo Edgerton, Dylan Cooper, Matthew Hudson, Casper Stevenson. Then we've got the first of the penalty makers, Josh Radican and Caden McQueen. Teddy Pritchard Williams and Oliver Behrman. Louis Short, Eduardo Cosseteng, Barrett Ellswood, Alex Lloyd down on the back row of the grid. He'll be one to charge forward. And Tyler Reid likewise. A disqualification from the last race. So those two from the back row of the grid will not want to be finishing in the 30th positions. So that's going to be a great race. Not at all.
No, this is going to be a very interesting one. As you said, a shame to see penalties going to the likes of Ratican, McQueen, Behrman, Cosseteng, Barrett, Ellswood, Tyler Reid likewise. But at the front, it's going to be a good battle here. Ravenscroft, Whitehead, Pinsent, Serenetti with that brilliant drive in final one. All to play for. Taylor and Walker are row 3.
Ravenscroft with one final win. They're going to go round again. Yeah. They're going round again.
They were far too quick out of the last corner.
Yeah.
I imagine it was like they wanted to purposely go round, so wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But, Joseph Taylor, of course, he was pole position, wasn't he, on Friday. He's on row 3 with Alex Walker, who's raced very well this weekend. And Reggie Dewey is on row 4 with Tom Edgar. Reggie Dewey, a bit of a mixed race final one, wasn't it? It's been an interesting one because everybody within the top 10 has shown some quality, but then there's quite a lot of drivers outside the top 10 who should be further forward. You've only got to look at Laflamme, Gray, Thompson, Gilbert, Edgerton, Ratican, McQueen, Behrman, Barrett, Lloyd, Reid, all of these guys should be in the top 10, and there's too many of them all to be there. I've got to say, some of the big movers who should be the ones to watch in final 2, Shane White, who gained 10 places to finish 9th, Nelson King, 11 places, he's going to be starting 14th, Lewis Thompson, despite a spinning, gained 14 places still to finish 15th, Salonen gained 18 places to finish 16th, so those guys definitely ones to watch, but out front, Ravenscroft won by almost 2 seconds from Luke Whitehead after just getting a break. So let's see if the tables turn this time. A second formation lap later, and it's going to be Ravenscroft on the inside, Whitehead on the outside, then Pinsent, Serenetti, Taylor, Walker, Dewey, Edgar, White, Hunt, Laflamme, Gray, Lee, King, Thompson and Salonen, and they are getting ready to go racing this time. This was already arguably the best racing class we've seen all weekend. Can they do it again? It's another false start. Another false start. Too quick. Nigel Edwards pointing at the acceleration line and they were charging towards it before they'd even got anywhere near it. So you can see the yellow acceleration line. They were far too far away from that for his liking, so we will send them round again.
Fair enough. Just watching a few of the drivers as they came over that line, I noticed that Theo Edgerton's got a bit of a Kyle Busch thing going. The NASCAR driver is sponsored by a certain confectionery company who shall remain nameless. He seems to have borrowed the idea of his helmet design. You can watch him when he comes round, actually. It looks quite skillful, actually. It looks quite classy. But yeah, not bad going. And I do like watching the different styles of these guys as they come through. We saw on the Drivers' Parade earlier, they've all come out to play this year with some really nice helmets, really nice race suits. They've got a really nice swagger, and it was a magnificent sight earlier watching 301 drivers squeeze onto a PF International straight.
It took you a while to walk down it.
Yes, it did. I was filming it it took me about 2 minutes to go all the way down that line and get everybody in shot. Very good stuff, but we're looking forward to seeing what these guys, the Junior X30s, can do in their final race of the weekend. Will Ravenscroft make it 2 in a row? We'll have to find out. But Whitehead, Pinsent, Serenetti, Joe Taylor, Alex Walker, and then many others, including the likes of Reggie Dewey and Axel Laflamme, will be charging their way through from 7th and 11th on the grid, respectfully. It's going to be a tough one to call. So let's see. Can they do it out of the final turn? Ravenscroft on the inside. That's much better. Ravenscroft, Whitehead, Pinsent, Serenetti, Taylor, Walker. Now we're racing, and it's a cracking start from Ravenscroft. Pinsent's going to get through into second place, and Serenetti's going to get crowded out there down to fifth position. We've got one off over the grass. Everybody else has come through, and it's a problem for Eduardo Cosateng. Cosateng's got a problem, and he's going to pull off on the exit of turn 1.
So Dragon Pinsent's up to second place. Joe Taylor is fourth with Luke Whitehead in third. Serenetti is fifth place, and then I think that must be Alex Walker in sixth place as they head down towards the first hairpin. Oh, I think Serenetti getting a shove there from Reggie Dewey in sixth place. Alex Walker is seventh, and then it's Shane White in eighth from Axel Laflamme and Nelson King.
Look at the squabble further back as well. We've got so many drivers in the wars into this second hairpin.
That's a car park.
That is absolutely a mobile car park. It's brilliant as they all charge their way through. So many drivers trying to make up places. You can't really keep up with who's there. But at the front, Ravenscroft still under some pressure from Pinson and Whitehead. Joe Taylor there in fourth position, I believe. Then it is Serenetti still trying to fend off, or actually no, Walker's further forward. The 95, Nelson King has been given a warning flag, and he'll get it this time by. But out of the final turn, Ravenscroft leading from Dragon Pinson.
Yeah, across the line we go. Ravenscroft, don't need me to give you the gap. It's virtually nothing. Luke Whitehead about half a second back from them. These three breaking away at the moment. Joseph Taylor has Alessandro Serenetti to deal with, and then Reggie Dewey, a queue of carts behind him, led by Alex Walker, or at least it still is for now. Axel Laflamme, I think, is about to be passed by Shane White. Oh, well, a lot of curb needing to be taken over the bridge. Axel Laflamme not passed in the end by Shane White. Shane White now defending from Nelson King.
Fastest driver on track is Reggie Dewey right now. Dewey's trying to close up on Serenetti.
Yep, he is. And no considerably big movers. Oliver Beerman, perhaps the biggest of all, up 7 places. And Tyler Reid is up 8. But they are still down the field at the moment. Who is this? That's dropped off the back of the field. Is that Josh Ratkin? Hasn't really made any progress. I think that's Alicia Barrett.
That's Alicia Barrett, the 20, who's had a very difficult race so far.
And no Teddy Pritchard Williams either, so I'm not too sure what happened to him.
Yeah, Ratkin is down at the very back by the look of things. So problems for Josh as he tries to work his way forward. That's definitely not where he should be. They come down over the line once again, and Ravenscroft still holds the advantage. Pinsent, Whitehead, Taylor, Serenetti up the inside, goes Laflamme, and he makes
Alex
the move.
Walker. It was a move on Alex Walker there from Axel Laflamme.
Up to 7th for Laflamme, then it's Walker, White, King,
Tom
Edgar.
But he's going to get the mechanical flag, Nelson King. So Nelson King out the race effectively.
Disaster.
Shane White's going to go back through. Axel Laflamme goes back through, and he might get that situation now where he starts to play a part in the race where he really shouldn't be, and Axel Laflamme knows it. I think he's trying to say to Nelson King, you've got a mechanical flag, mate. We've got Alex Walker in there. I think Tom Edgar is out in there. It is. And Lewis Thompson's at the back of that queue in the 79.
12's down the inside of Laflamme and pips him up sideways. Laflamme gets nerfed wide there by
not going right for Laflamme
the 12
today.
of Alex Walker. And Walker loses another place as well in there to the 79. I think that was of Thompson coming through. So very difficult stuff then for Laflamme. He's not getting any luck at all today.
No.
Ratican, meanwhile, is charging his way forward. He's up to 29th at the end of that last lap, so he's picked off 3 places already. There's no Pritchard Williams. There's no Cosseteng. Both of them out of the race, unfortunately. So there's Ravenscroft and Pinson. Then Whitehead. Behind them, it's still up for debate. Taylor, Dewey now ahead of Serenetti. Didn't see where he got through. White, Thompson, Nelson King, who now gets the mechanical flag. That's going to be a disaster for him. He's up in the top 10.
Yeah.
Oh, and we've got somebody going off there on the grass.
Not too sure who that was, but Ali Akabi's tumbling down the order.
Yeah, King's pulling over. He knows it's all done and dusted now, so King is just going to motor his way back through. Someone trying to overtake him and getting caught up.
Well, that's good driving from him to do that. Ali Akabi tumbled down the order on that last lap, so not too sure what happened to the driver from Jordan, but we've got 3 drivers away out front, but fairly equidistant. We've got half a second between Ravenscroft and Pinzit, and then about a second at the end of the last lap between Pinzit and Whitehead. But Ravenscroft going quicker than anyone on this lap, so clearly, Jake, he's settling into this race nicely.
Yeah, he seems to have a good ebb and flow, and that's one of the things we like about him. He's always got this ability to just keep the rhythm flowing, and he just seems to get faster and faster when he's in a mode that he likes. Out of the final turn, Ravenscroft leading the way. Pinson is close, but not close enough to really be a threat in the early stages. Whitehead in 3rd position, then Joe Taylor. Reggie Dewey is reeling him in big style, though, so Dewey is not done yet in 5th place. Serenetti still going well in P6. Then it is Shane White in front of Thompson, Laflamme, Edgar and Rufus Hunt.
Over the bridge they go for the 5th time. Ravenscroft quickest on track. He's just set a new fastest lap. Pinzit dropping back into the clutches of Luke Whitehead ever so slightly. You've got to hand it to Clayton Ravenscroft. He just got an edge over everyone else at the moment. And Dewey has actually gone into 4th place. So he's now past Joseph Taylor. Then it's Alessandro Serenetti. Then it's Shane White. Then it's Lewis Thompson. Then Axel Laflamme, who seems to be in a position now where he's not going to get hit off by anyone. Then it is Tom Edgar. So Axel Laflamme can try and calm himself down now and try and make some places. There's still 6 minutes plus a lap to go. Oh, look at this little battle coming out the second hairpin.
It's the 48 moving up. That's Alex Lloyd.
Alex Lloyd's just picked up 2 places. Is that Caden McQueen battling away with someone there?
I think it's Dylan Cooper and Sam Heading that were battling away there. So Caden McQueen is still up in about 15th position or so.
Well, he's doing well, isn't he? He's the biggest mover on track.
Yep.
Caden McQueen, he's gained 11 places.
Well, Lloyd's made up 12, actually. Tyler Reed's made up 11. 27 gets a warning flag. That is Josh Ratican. So Ratican is obviously in the wars trying to move his way forward.
He's not having a good race, is he? He's only into 26, so something must have happened to him.
Okay, so Nelson King has come into the pits with a mechanical flag, but he's come back out again. So whatever they've done, he's deciding, do you know what? I'm going to get some laps in. Why not? So Ravenscroft leading, Pinsent in 2nd, Whitehead in 3rd. Ravenscroft out in front. Meticulous at the moment. I love watching him. You remember the old days of some of the tapes I've been watching I found of Nigel Mansell in karting before he got into motor racing. It's very similar. He's got this dogged determination. He is a bit of a lion out there. His European season has been going from strength to strength, and here in the first round of the British Championship he looks absolutely superfluous. Running in the senior X30 in Europe has really given him that strength of character and resolve to master the junior X30. He could win quite a lot this year.
Yeah, he's had a very good season. He won the B&L last year, which gave him a whole load of confidence, and winning it in the fashion he did as well.
Warning flag for Walker. So Alex Walker's got himself into a bit of a sticky situation somewhere. But Ravenscroft
down 8 places as well. Dragan Pinzit now responds. Dragan Pinzit, new fastest lap of the race. Brings the gap down to Ravenscroft to the first time in a number of laps. And Luke Whitehead also now matching the pace of Clayton Ravenscroft. So are we going to see the leads 3 begin to get a little bit closer?
We've got time. 4:15 on the clock. Dragan Pinson starting to chip away at Ravenscroft. Ravenscroft responds.
And Reggie Dewey absolutely flying in 4th place as well. This race was about half an hour long. I think it would be a 4-way battle for sure. But let's see what can happen in 4 minutes.
Nice overtaking move there in the hairpin from Laflamme. Laflamme gets the move on Thompson, and that moves him up into 8th position behind Shane White.
Just ahead, Shane White piling the pressure on Alessandro Serenetti.
Well, in the greasier conditions, Serenetti's not quite able to be as spectacular as he was, but he's definitely more consistent, and it's good to see the English champion there in the top 6. The Italian still doing a great job there in P6, and the way he fought his way back from earlier on, he's done very well indeed. Ravenscroft and Pinson. Yeah, Pinson is definitely closer than he was.
Yes.
0.69. He's only taken 0.05 of a second out of him on that lap, but he's definitely keeping Ravenscroft honest.
Yeah, but as you get closer and closer, he'll start to pick up a toe. He'll start to gain even more confidence if he needs it already. And eventually, he'll just be on the back of him. But Ravenscroft, to his credit, is doing a fantastic job just to keep himself calm. He's getting on with his own race. He's not panicking. He's not looking behind him. He's not allowing Dragan Pinzit to know he's catching. He's just staying calm out front. And Luke Whitehead, in fact, on this lap is the one closing in as well. It's very close between these three, and you'd have to say if they were all together, we'd have a brilliant race. But the fact they're split apart by 1.5 seconds means there is just nothing to choose between them. Shane White has gone past Alessandro Serenetti on this lap. That's a change for 6th place. Serenetti could get worse for him. He's got Axel Laflamme and Lewis Thompson closing in. Tom Edgar rounds out the top 10.
More progress through the field. McQueen is up to 12th, 14 places. Lloyd is up to 16th place. That's 17 places made up for Lloyd from the back of the grid. Again, another fantastic start to the season in many respects for Alex Lloyd in terms of pace. Here in the British Championship, it's been a bit of a nightmare weekend for him so far. He might be able to resurrect it with a top 10. Ravenscroft responds to Pinson's pressure. Another new fastest lap. That'll do nicely.
Yeah. That's just when we thought it was getting close. Goes and does that. So.
Oh no, it's not, mate.
Yeah.
Ravenscroft pushing on again. Absolutely brilliant down the back straight.
You can visibly see this.
Yeah, he's extending the gap. This is a great work from Ravenscroft. A 25
purple in the first sector.
In the first sector. That's 0.3 faster than anybody is going out there. Absolutely majestic performance so far from Ravenscroft. Yet again, I'm running out of superlatives for him in 2018. The man is just perfection right now. Pinson, Whitehead, Dewey in 4th position, still looking very feisty actually as he closes up on Whitehead. Dewey could be the one to make up some big ground in the last couple of laps if he can just keep the pace coming. Taylor is there in 5th position, losing a lot of time to Shane White, who has got past Serenetti at last. So White is into 6th place, past Serenetti.
Yeah, he did that on the last lap. Shane White, we didn't see it, but we saw him coming out that second hairpin with Shane White ahead, and we know that now.
But we've had an off. Louis Short has gone off on the last lap. He rejoins, but Short has gone down to the back of the field, unfortunately. So he now comes through at the end of the first lap, but he had an off there at the first sector. And
Axel Laflamme has now gone past Serenetti.
Yeah, he's gone past Serenetti. So Laflamme is potentially top 6 material right now.
Yeah, he's going after Shane White. He's 0.4 quicker than Shane White.
Pinson's responded to Ravenscroft. He's faster in the 3rd sector, so now Pinson is trying to come back at him. There's not much to choose between them. In fact, look, they've set the fastest lap together to the 100th of a second, Ravenscroft and Pinson.
So
that is amazing.
It goes down to the 1,000th where Ravenscroft was quicker. Pinzit's just throwing everything at this now, isn't he?
Yep. Good progress from Barrett. She's made the move on Matthew Hudson, battling away with Alex Lay down the back. I just saw her make the move into turn 1. So good stuff from her as she progresses forward. But Ravenscroft trying to cope with Pinsent at the moment. There is barely anything to choose between them with the final lap approaching. And they are going to get the final lap board this time because we are now out of time, and Ravenscroft gets the final lap board, but Dragan Pinsent is not giving up. He's taken 2/10 out of him in the middle sector. In the 3rd sector, he is still charging. This race is not over yet. Pinsent is still charging.
Yeah, he's still got time, but I think 7/10. If we look back at how Ravenscroft's driven in this race, I think he's just too far behind and is out of time. Luke Whitehead's going to finish 3rd as long as he stays on track. 4th place will go the way of Reggie Dewey, and look at that. I think that's conclusive now that Ravenscroft's got this one in the bag.
First sector needs to be a strong one, and it is. He's 0.3 of a second ahead. He's checking out again. This is the thing. Ravenscroft is soaking up the pressure. He's just doing what he needs to do out front to get this race won. He's not overdriving.
A bit further back, Serenetti's on the defensive there.
Tyre issues, maybe? Maybe his tyres going off?
Lewis Thompson trying to go in on Serenetti, and behind that, Caden McQueen trying to go past Tom Edgar. Caden McQueen looks to the outside. this for the last space in the top 10, but won't do it.
Well, out in front, it is the man himself again. Clayton Ravenscroft has made this weekend come to him. He has read the situation, wet or dry, absolutely to perfection. And out of the final turn, Clayton Ravenscroft continues his 2018 season of superstardom. P1 over the line. Ravenscroft does it again. Pinson in second place from Luke Whitehead in third. Reggie Dewey is fourth from Joe Taylor in front of Shane White and Axel Laflamme. Alessandro Serenetti comes home in eighth place in front of Lewis Thompson. And rounding out the top 10, it is finally Caden McQueen who breaks into that top 10, making up 16 places in the progress. Tom Edgar in the 11th place from Rufus Hunt. Lewis Gilbert fights back to 13th place. Commendable work from him. Alex Lloyd to 14th from 31st on the grid. That is stupendous. Then we have Alex Walker ahead of Casper Stevenson, Sam Heading and Dylan Cooper from Oliver Gray and Ali Akabi rounding out the top 20, the Jordanian. And then we have Oliver Behrman, Tyler Reed making up 12 places to 22nd as well. Matthias Salonen in 23rd from Tom Mills, Theo Edgerton, William Ellswood, a very disappointed Josh Rattican, Alicia Barrett, Alex Day, Matthew Hudson, Nelson King, and Louis Short, who will come home at the back of the field, with Teddy Pritchard-Williams and Eduardo Cosateng out of the race. My goodness, Ravenscroft really stepped up to the plate today, didn't he, Chris?
Yeah, he leads the championship as we lead round one. Ravenscroft with 191 points.
That's only 5 points off the perfect score.
Exactly. Luke, where did he lose that? Was that in a heat? I think it was.
It was one of the heats, yes.
Yeah, so Luke Whitehead then will walk away from the championship. It was one heat where he finished in fifth place.
Yes, it was.
Fifth or sixth. But back to where we were, it's going to be Clayton Ravenscroft who leads the championship with 191 points. Whitehead with 184. Pinsett with 183. Taylor has 179. Dewey 176, Laflamme 173, so not the worst result by the end. 156 for Edgar, Shane White with 150, joint 8th place with Alessandro Serenetti. Alex Walker, a brilliant start to the season for him with 148 points. Any surprises for you in that top 10?
Really great to see Luke Whitehead really pushing in there. I mean, I know he's obviously one of the seeded drivers, but he struggled at the start of the weekend and has really come back into it. So great to see Luke Whitehead pushing in, and he deserves that second place in the points. He's been very, very resolute all the way through the weekend. Good to see him there. Dragan Pinson in third position. Good to see him. Alessandro Serenetti has saved his bacon all weekend long. Certainly today. Yesterday it was looking very grim for him. He's brought it back and he's now in the top 10 in the championship. Good stuff. We've only got 3 races to go. Where's it all gone? That's 42 races we've done this weekend. We've only got 3 left. Anyway, we've got the Iami Cadet up next, and this is the battle we've all been waiting to witness again. Arvid Lindblad and Freddie Slater at the front of the grid, but the new kid on the block, Harley Keeble, is suddenly a contender. Third position on the grid. He's going to be a feisty one to watch this year. Max Dodds alongside him on the second row of the grid. I can see Dodds winning this one if he gets a really good start. Watts in third row of the grid, with William McIntyre there alongside him. And then we have Sam Shaw and Brandon Carr running around together on the fourth row of the grid, with Harley Horton and Aidan Neat rounding out the top 10. Harry Jr., that's Harry Jr. Burgoyne, of course, alongside the Gladiator, Maximus Hall, just in front of the Pineapple, Oliver Wright, and Max Barrow, row 7. Don't ask me why his nickname's Pineapple, I don't know. Then on the 8th row, it's Leo Robinson and Bart Harrison. Then it's Kai Bacchini and Luke Sintler on the 9th row of the grid, with Ashton Hodgson and MJ Kanini rounding out the top 20, the South African. Ella Stevens acquitting herself well in her first weekend in Super 1. Vinnie Phillips alongside her. Archie Clark doing well, getting some good overtakes done from Charlie Rippin. Benjamin Doughty and Jack Younger, always a feisty one, Jack. Hadi Mamasi, the Canadian, in front of Jacob Baldry. The Mexican Ian Aguilera alongside Edu Robinson. So that's your 30 drivers as they make their way round for the rolling start. And it's hard to call this one. It could be any one of the drivers in the top 8 on the starting grid. I'm really not sure how this is going to go. Lindblad, Slater, Keeble, Dodds, Watts, McIntyre, Shaw, Carr. It's wetter than it's ever been. It's tougher than it's ever been. Is this going to be a rolling start? No, it's not. They're going to go round again. So it's yet another formation lap. And to be fair, not really a surprise, and perfectly exactly what they need right now. Wetter than it's ever been. A second exploratory lap would definitely suit them right now.
Yes, not the worst thing in the world. So one more tour around the PF International circuit. Of course, we did see that battle between Lindblad and Slater in that first final. Harley Keeble, well, they're over the moon to be third place. And even in these conditions, they reckon they can take it even further. Max Dodds on the outside of row 2, third in the championship going into this. Then we have Luke Watts, happy for it to be wet, I'm sure, we're on row 3 with William McIntyre. I don't think we've seen the best of McIntyre this weekend just yet, so that might change in this race. Sam Shaw, good to see him back where he belongs now. Now he's at the front. Let's see if he can capitalise on that. Then it's Brandon Carr. Brandon Carr's been very good this weekend. Harley Horton, one of the surprise packages, arguably. Aidan Neat is on the outside of row 5, of course, and some drivers down the field. Vinnie Phillips, of course, after that disaster where he didn't even... Well, he started about half a lap behind and eventually managed to finish 22nd. So Vinnie Phillips will watch out for his progress during this one. Now he's actually going to take the start, hopefully.
Genuinely unpredictable, this one. Lindblad, Slater, Keeble, Dodds, Watts, McIntyre, Shaw, Carr, Horton and Neat. And then we've got some big players just outside the top 10 as well. This is going to be a better start, a cleaner start.
Here we go.
Do it again.
No,
another false start. Another false start.
It looked all right to me, but... I'm not Dan Ashton.
I think they saw something further back in the order. There was about 6 or 7 rows back. It was still not quite in the right position. So the driver's just getting the tension and the pressure, still rising, still rolling. Just watching the guys in the stands there. A very interested spectator in young Josh Rowledge, having had a very interesting day at the office and having a very victorious one as well. So let's see how his... stablemates in the fold of Strawberry Racing, young Max Dodds, starting from the second row of the grid, can acquit himself. You have to say, one of the teams of the season already in this first round of the championship, Oliver Rowland Motorsport. Lindblad was their only representative last year.
Yeah.
Now they've got Lindblad and Keeble, and they've got Alfie Rigby in the Hondas coming up, and all of those guys are at the front.
And they've got Brandon Carr as well,
yes,
haven't
indeed.
they? So...
And Carr is in the mix in that top 10 as well. So of the 3 drivers they've got in their second full season, they're all in the top 10 for this grid. Absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
I'm not too sure if that is all of them, then that is a pretty strong lineup, isn't it? So Harley Keeble, a name most people wouldn't have expected to be this high up. We know him from past racing. Harley Keeble was third here last weekend, so he's already had a podium this season. Let's see if he can get another.
Well, to do one at Super 1 would be pretty spectacular, and he would be delighted with it. So let's see how it goes. Lindblad, however, has obviously got the earlier win to take into this race, and he will want to keep that bandwagon rolling out of the final turn. And this time it looks like it could be a cleaner straight. Everybody needs to get into position. They've done it again. They've done it again.
No, they were coming out of that last corner too quick. I wonder if they're going to get...
I think as well, it's not just coming out of the corner too quick. There are drivers who are not in the grid lines.
Yeah, not in the
They're not
lines.
up the middle of the grid line. They need to stay in those hatchings. They need to stay in the middle of the lines.
I wonder if they're going to get a talking to this time. I wonder if we're actually going to put a stop and stop them on the back straight, or if they're going to give them another chance at it. Let's see. I think they're going to stop them.
Yes, they are. Look, this is the third time they've been told not to start the race, and these guys are obviously under pressure. The thing is, the first 6 to 7 rows on this grid are absolutely fine. That's not the problem. It's the midfield that are really struggling to get their race up to start. So here we go. Look, they're going to stop them on the grid. They're going to stop them on the run up to the left-right.
Tram lines, make sure you...
Tram lines, come on. You need to be absolutely in line with each other. Now, I know there are a lot of rookies on this grid this year, but they have been told how to get the start done. They've done clean starts all the way through the weekend, of course. This is the other thing.
This is the televised final, though, so...
I see. So this is the one where they really want to put on a good show for the cameras, but they still have to remain within those white lines. They still have to be there. So for the 4th time of asking... I'm struggling to remember the last time there's been 4 attempts at a start for a Super 1 weekend, but okay, the Army Cadets clearly need a little bit more practice at it, so let's see how it's going to go. Lindblad, Slater, Keeble, Dodds, Watts, McIntyre, Shaw, Carr, Horton and Neat. Let's give them one more chance at it, shall we? And hopefully this time it's going to be good. We've got a few drivers out of position again.
No,
Not again.
Yeah,
that is another.
They're going to go round again, aren't they?
They are going to go round again.
They're going to be stopped this time.
At this rate, they're going to run out of fuel.
They're going to be stopped this time, surely.
Wow, this is getting silly. In fact, yeah, the race has been red flagged.
I'm not surprised.
Stopped race. The race has been halted. Well, absolutely incredible, because now, of course, the mechanics are going to have to dash back and they're going to have to do some bits and pieces of work here, because they can't
for the first time. No.
They can't send them round anymore, because obviously they're not going to have enough fuel to run around to the rest of the race if they keep doing this. So it's a tricky one, because the thing is, the first few karts are in position and they can send them round again, but this time, every time they come around, it's ended up that they've got to come and do it all over again.
They will get a firm talking to.
I think, dear. Yeah. Well, should we have a pause at this moment then? Because it's going to be a couple of minutes before they come out again. But obviously the tension is already pretty high in the Army cadets. But 4 attempts at a start, and it has not happened. We are under reds here, and the drivers will return back to the pits to get this race restarted as soon as is humanly possible.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jacques Villeneuve, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
With 30 years of racing experience, Kato Motorsport regularly takes young racers to the top step of the podium at Super 1, LDM, Rotax Cup, Kart Masters and at karting clubs around the country. We provide race team services, driver training, kart preparation, awning space and more. Plus our drivers have gone on to race at the top level of British motorsport thanks to our tuition and guidance. So what are you waiting for? Head to katomotorsport.co.uk and join the success at KMS.
Sharma provides a wide range of logistics solutions to cater for all your needs, from a 2-man white glove home delivery to a full load covering the UK and Ireland. We have over 20 years experience in the logistics industry and maintain a large fleet of fully tracked vehicles and pride ourselves on our punctuality in delivering your consignment to its destination. So, whatever your delivery needs, call us now on 01652 638 317 or find us online at sharmalogistics.co.uk. Sharma Logistics, we can make it happen.
For engine tuning and building you can trust, Shocks Performance can get you to victory lane. We are British and Scottish champions, and we're always pushing to be better. We offer dyno facilities, engine tuning, ignition testing, reboring, machining, honing, carb rebuilds, you name it. We've got you covered. With years of expertise on Rotax, Coma, WTP, TKM and Formula Blue, we're the team for you. Head to shocksperformance.co.uk today.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jacques Villeneuve, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
You take it in your life that I don't want to go over this. Arises your love. You take it in this fight tonight. Today's another day that I see. I'm gonna find a way to be. You tell it in your life. I'm taking hold of all of this. Rises your love. You take me in this fight tonight. Today's another day that I see. I'm gonna find a way.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingham and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jacques Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
So the young cadets have now been given a clear spoken to, and now they are going to be getting themselves back onto the starting grids. So that gives us a little bit more time for a bit of a build-up, as we have 3 races to go here. Army Cadet, Senior Rotax and Honda Cadet still to go. And obviously, having been out there on the starting gantry, Chris, and having spoken to Dan Ashton and assessed the situation now that they send them around on their rolling lap, the current lay of the land, obviously we've had 4 attempts at this one start. What is the current thinking and what's the current feeling out there? It must be frustration, but also, is anybody going to get docked for this? Do we know?
Not from what I know. I think they're just gonna. I think they've had a talking to now, and I think that will be it now. I think hopefully I think they're gonna give them a couple more chances or one more chance, and hopefully it's okay. But what we've had is sometimes what happens in this situation where we get drivers not being able to start because we've got problems, it seems, for Archie Clark.
That's a
Jacob
real problem.
Baldry.
Yeah,
so,
Clark and Baldry not getting away.
And that will just be an engine problem more than anything. Mechanics pushing the car off to the side of the track.
Yeah, they've got to move him off the circuit now, because obviously
that's where it gets really unfortunate. If you weren't at fault for what was going on with the start issues, and then you're the one that comes a cropper when things are supposed to be getting back underway, and it can be a really hard one to take.
Yeah, it's a real shame. It looks as though Archie Clark is going to have to start this race from the pit lane at best, but if not, then out of the race altogether. That's going to be a real disaster from their point of view, especially considering that in these conditions he would have a really good opportunity to move his way forward in the wet. However, it's not game over if he can get started and follow in behind these guys. Plus, if these guys get sent round again and they can get him started, they may still be able to get him out there on position. So it's not done and dusted yet. This time, are we going to get a clean start? Yes, we do. So it's a cracker from Lindblad. He's going to get taken in there with his teammate Keeble, who moves his way forward. Off goes Freddie Slater, the O-plate. Slater slots in behind
Luke Watts
Watts.
going into second.
Oh, that's Watts. No, that is Watts going up into second position.
Yeah, Luke Watts is into second place. Charlotte did it under the bridge. Yellow flags out. Pile up on the banking. So we come off the bridge then. It is Watts in second place. Lindblad leading. Third is Slater, so didn't do him too much harm at all. We just did it to avoid any incidents.
Dodds is in 5, but he's going to make the move on Keeble, and Slater's going to make the move on Watts.
Then it's McIntyre, isn't it, in 6th place, I believe.
No,
it's Horton, sorry.
Then it's Horton.
Then it's Shaw. Then it's Leo Robinson, I think, after that.
Yes, it is. The 37. Leo Robinson was down on the... Where was he? He was on the... Leo Robinson was on the 8th row. Leo Robinson on the 8th row of the grid on 15th place.
William McIntyre's had an awful start. He's dropped way down the order. So
Maximus Hall was involved in that third corner melee. So too was the 33 of Jacob Baldry. So he got tangled into it as well. Several drivers in trouble. I think Kai Bacchini hasn't come around.
Yeah.
We've got slippery oil flags at the Litchfield Bridge. So Kai Bacchini, we think, has not come around. That's a real shame.
For a mechanical flag for the number 14.
That is Bacchini.
Yep, we think he's out the race anyway. But across the start-finish line, Lindblad leading Slater. Then it's Dodds, Watts. 5th place is Horton. Then it's Shaw, Keeble, Robinson, Cart, and Bart Harrison. Charlie Rippin has gained 11 places. The number 21 is up to 13th. As we head over the bridge for the second time.
So the 20th, the top 20, we've got Lindblad from Slater, Dodds, Watts, Horton, Shaw, Keeble, Robinson, Carr, Harrison, Wright, Burgoyne Jr., Rippin, Phillips, McIntyre, Barrow, Hodgson, Luke Sintler, then Ellis Stevens and MJ Canini. Still making up progress. That looks like another move from Robinson. Robinson trying to move up on the inside of Harley. Keeble. Sorry, I'm looking further back. That's the 57 I'm watching. That's Aidan Neat battling away with MJ Canini as Canini is trying to put himself up the order there. But the 15 slots himself into position. That's Max Barrow that's squabbling away. Ellis Stevens making a nice overtaking move there at the far end of the field. And we've got 2 more off the road. That's the 90 of Jack Younger and the 33 again, Jacob Baldry. Not having the greatest of races in this second final. But out front, it is Lindblad from Freddie Slater.
Yeah, it couldn't get much closer. Slater may be lining up a move as we head down the start-finish straight. Slater in the slipstream. Is he going to be able to pull out? No, he looks over his shoulder.
Well, watch out, boys, because Max Dodds is catching both of them. Dodds is looking very feisty in this one. They were a little disappointed after the first final that Dodds was only 4th, so now they're hoping for a little bit more.
Yeah, they'll be wanting a win here as we head over the bridge.
Oh, and Archie Clark has got
that's
going
a change
again.
for the lead. Freddie Slater hits the front.
Yep.
Going onto the bridge, Freddie Slater has hit the front, and we've got yellow flags underneath the bridge.
We have got yellows under the bridge. I was just going to point out the fact that Archie Clark, who had missed the initial start, did start from the pit lane and has got going again, and he's already making up places. So good work so far. That's
Sam Shaw.
That's Shaw. Shaw makes the move for 4th position. Luke Watts is charging after the top 3 and is catching them rapidly. Again, that extra 4 kilos that he's got on board is definitely helping him get closer to these 3. He could win this.
Yeah, it was Harley Horton that Sam Shaw had gone past. Keeble is now being caught by his teammate Brandon Carr. Then it's Leo Robinson and Bar Harrison who have both gained 6 places apiece.
Warning for Aguilera. He's battling with Ellis Stevens, but Stevens makes light work of him there. So Ellis Stevens working hard indeed. She likes these conditions. So hopefully this is going to be a really strong race for her as she continues to move forward. So let's see them as they come out of the final turn. Good work this from Lindblad, Slater and Dodds. Being caught by Luke Watts though. Watts is faster than all of them in the first sector and very strong in the third sector as well.
Yeah, but no one's quicker than Freddie Slater. Freddie Slater setting a new fastest lap out front.
McIntyre makes the move on Bar Harrison, so it makes the move on his teammate. Vinnie Phillips not far away either. And Archie Clark has really adapted to this one. He's coming through the field pretty rapidly in the 43.
Oliver Wright made a move into the first corner as well there in the number 11 to gain 19th place. Off the bridge, looks like Harley Keeble has lost 1 place to Brandon Carr and is going to lose another place potentially to Leo Robinson into the first hairpin.
There's a squabble further back. That is the 57 making the move on Vinnie Phillips. That's Aidan Neat makes the move on Vinnie Phillips, his teammate, and gets through there no problem. But they've got a bit of a tussle coming because that is the 21 of Charlie Rippin in there as well trying to come through. Very exciting battles, and in there as well, that's the 24 trying to make progress. Ashton Hodgson, remember how high up he was at one stage in the weekend, so he's trying to get himself back into a strong position. But at the top 4, Slater, Lindblad, Dodds, Watts is still very even. Dodds slightly faster than them all in the first sector and fastest of all.
Yep, out of the complex into the final.
Is that Dodds in second?
Yes, it is.
That is Dodds in second. So Dodds has gone into second position. So this is great work from Max Dodds. And he is pushing hard onto the back of Freddie Slater. He looks like he could go for the move into the third corner here. They go through 1, through 2, under the Litchfield Bridge. And this is going to be Dodds. He's popping out to have a look. No, he hangs back. He hangs back.
So for now, he stays in second, but there he goes.
Dodds is going to go on the inside into 4, and he's got him.
And
Dodds leads. Dodds is in the lead. Magnificent move.
Yep, Dodds off the bridge there, and he's got the lead, and he's got a gap as well. So
look at that.
He's got to make a break for it.
That's about 3 car lengths, but he's going to get to a bit of a hurry up from Lindblad here, as Lindblad's going to help Slater come forward. So Dodds takes the lead. That's the first time today that Dodds has hit the front, doing a cracking job as well, as he pushes his way down to the second hairpin. Dodds, Slater, Lindblad, and Watts. But keep an eye on Watts, because he's not done yet. Still pushing hard. Up to 5th as well has come Sam Shaw. Yeah. Shaw is doing beautifully.
Yeah, he passed Harley Horton a couple of laps ago, and Luke Watts is getting a little bit closer as a result of this battling. Max Dodds in the into the race lead, though, as they head round the Mike Wilson complex. Freddie Slater trying to make a move, trying to come back at Max Dodds. He's got the pressure from Arvid Lindblad. Lindblad, likewise, has got Watts within about 3 or 4 tenths of him out of the last corner. We're about to complete lap number 5. Just over 5 minutes plus a lap remaining.
Freddie Slater is not giving up on Max Dodds at all. He's going to try again into turn 3. Can Slater put it up the inside and get Max Dodds? He's having a look, but he doesn't go for it there. He's going to wait till the mid-apex. Now he's going to have his chance on the inside.
Slater back
through. Slater takes back the lead, and Dodds very nearly concedes another place to Lindblad, but just gets that door shut.
Oh,
he's back through. He's back through. Beautiful move from Dodds. He brought that out of the back end of nowhere, and now Slater's going to come back. Lindblad's going to go with him as they come off the turn. Slater and Dodds side by side. Lindblad up the inside. Lindblad through to second. Dodds shunted back down to third for the moment, but he's not done. Lindblad now going for the lead on Slater. Dodds is going to keep that door open and get through as well. Dodds in a second position. So much shuffling of positions between those three, and it's still Watts there in fourth position, just watching it happen.
This has been a good lap from William McIntyre. He's gone past Harley Keeble and almost went past Brandon Carr as well. So McIntyre making very quick progress here, as he is now... we haven't seen the best of William McIntyre yet. He struggled at the start of the race, but he's back into the top 10 now.
I can't pick this between these 4 drivers at the front. Dodds, Slater, Lindblad, Watts. That was the order last time. It's a completely different order this time. Lindblad now in the lead from Dodds.
No,
Slater.
It's Dodds in the lead.
Oh, Dodds is back in front. Where did Dodds find that move? Absolutely brilliant overtake then from Dodds on the far side of the circuit. That must have been into Mike Wilson. That must have been into the complex at the far side.
Not
and
too
now
sure.
for second position.
But here we go, Slater. I think he's going to take
lining
second.
up Lindblad. No, he can't quite get through. Watts is there in fourth position, just watching it all unfold.
Yeah, he's yet to make a move, Luke Watts, but he just doesn't seem quick enough to make a move. He can hang with him, but making a move is another story.
Lindblad having a go for Dodds. Is he into the hairpin? No, Dodds moves across the line by a couple of inches, and that's enough to unsettle Lindblad's rhythm.
Yeah,
brilliant work.
Just taking the wet line under braking Max Dodds. It becomes a lot harder, doesn't it, to overtake, of course, in these conditions, but they've been finding a way through pretty well so far in this race, and that's made it a good one to watch. 3 minutes plus a lap to go, and this very close now. Arvid Lindblad may get a run down towards Bobby Game Corner, and there he goes. Arvid Lindblad up the inside.
Is that going to be Slater through as well?
Yes,
I think that is. Yes, Slater into second place. So now Dodds back into third position, still battling away as they come off the complex, but Dodds is there in P3, still giving them a little bit of aggro. Lindblad, your leader, Slater, Dodds and Watts, and in fifth place Shaw trying to drop Horton and McIntyre.
Down the start-finish straight then. That's lap 7 completed. And there goes Slater back up the inside.
Dodds is going to try and edge through as well. He has to hang back up towards turn 3. Dodds is getting aggro in there as he tries to make a move on the inside, then backs down of it. And there is Slater defending the inside line. Dodds is going to get into second place. Yes, he does. Dodds through to P2. Back down the hill to 5. And he's giving Slater a little bit more of a run for his money. Dodds is not done yet. He's pulling over, taking moves out of thin air. And now he's going to try for Slater again. Trying to edge him a little bit away from Arvid Lindblad if he can before the end of this race. 2 minutes and 5 on the clock. The best Army Cadet battle of the weekend is saved till last. Brilliant stuff. Now Dodds goes for the inside. Slater's going to get held up as Lindblad comes up the inside. That's what Dodds needs to get away. Slater's on the grass. Lindblad is through to second. There's not much Slater can do about it, but under braking, Lindblad and Slater tighten up on Dodds again. Dodds will not be allowed to run away, but he's leading once more.
William McIntyre set the new fastest lap last time round, 1:19.2 as he tries to close in on Sam Shaw. So he's getting a lot closer, is McIntyre, to Sam Shaw. And bringing with him, actually, I think Brandon Carr is...
Yep.
Harley Horton, sorry, is the one in that battle as well. And Brandon Carr trying to go with them. Just behind that, it is Harley Keeble and Harry Jr. Burgoyne rounding out the top 10 as leaders make their way under the bridge once more. William McIntyre, once again, the fastest on track. Now in 5th place as well is William McIntyre. Can he catch the leaders?
Conditions really deteriorating now. It's not particularly heavy rain, but it's still consistent, and that's going to make things slipperier in the last couple of laps. But Dodds is handling it well. Lindblad in second place, still giving it gusto. Lindblad's got a good run off of 5, though, and he's going to dive for the inside. Dodds again. He is so good at covering Dodds on the way down to the braking zone. He hears that Lindblad is there. He doesn't block. He just moves across a couple of inches, and that's enough to upset Lindblad. Lindblad dives, though, for the inside of the second hairpin. Dodds gets straight back on the power. This is going to be a hard one for them to battle away for. And I think this is going to be the penultimate lap. We're getting ready for the last lap board to come out. I think this is going to be a last gasp effort from these 4 on the last lap. And it could be any one of the 4 of them that wins.
Yeah, someone's going to miss out on the podium. Unfortunately, as we're side by side for the lead once again, I think that was Lindblad going back into... In fact, Dodds emerges in the lead. Dodds emerges in the lead. Slater is now in 2nd place. Lindblad is now in 3rd place. And Watts still in 4th place. As we go down the start-finish straight, we're going to to get the last lap.
One lap to go, and Slater knows it. So now he's going to attack Dodds into the first corner, but it's wetter than it's ever been. Slater's going to have a look. Dodds is going to cover the line. He's got to cover that inside line all the way through the long sweeper. Up the inside, Lindblad goes for second. Lindblad on the inside of Slater. Dodds has been given a little bit of breathing space.
Watts is up to third.
Watts is up to third as well. So Watts is through to third position. Oh, a bit of a mistake from Dodds out of 5. Now he's going to have to cover that inside line like his life depends on it. Lindblad's to his left.
And here comes Watts up the inside of Lindblad. Oh, and he gives him a shove.
Watts gets a bit of a shove to Dodds. There's 3 wide as they come through. Slater's going to get the inside line. Dodds is going to get the acceleration into the inside line for the second hairpin. Lindblad moves to cover. Slater's going to get him on the undercut. Lindblad is held up. And that's going to be Dodds and Slater for the win. Surely those two will battle away through the left and through the right.
Yeah, down towards Bobby Game for the last time.
Can Slater get Dodds?
Slater, I don't think he's going to have enough time.
Dodds moves to cover, but he's very strong up towards the Mike Wilson.
Oh, but he does. He's found a way through.
Slater's going to find a way through on the inside as they come off the turn.
He's in the lead. Slater's in the lead.
Slater's got him on the last lap. Absolutely amazing. Into the final 2 corners. Can Dodds get him off the final turn? They come down the straight. It's going to be Slater. Slater will just get there from Dodds. What a drive. Epic work. Magnificent. Third position for Lindblad. Watts is there in P4. McIntyre from Shaw. Horton, Carr, Keeble and Burgoyne in the top 10. Oh, that could have been anybody's victory. What a stunning lap. Slater versus Dodds was magnificent. Oh, what a battle. I was hoping that one would go right down to the wire, and it really did. Slater, Dodds and Lindblad, the 3 favourites for this championship in the top 3 in the first, second final podium of the season, and that is magnificent. Well, behind the top 10, we have Aidan Neat in 11th place from Robinson. Ashton Hodgson in 13th. Charlie Rippin up 10 places to 14. Barrow is 15th ahead of Vinnie Phillips, who came up 6 places. Then Oliver Wright, Bart Harrison, Maximus Hall and Luke Sintler round out the 20. Then it's Ian Aguilera from MJ Canini, Ben Doughty, Eddie Robinson, Archie Clark, Ella Stevens, Hattie Mamasi, Jacob Baldry and Jack Younger, with only one retirement in Kai Bacchini on the first lap.
Well, it's Freddie Slater then who stealing the victory at the end there, also steals the championship lead. Freddie Slater with 191 points. Arvid Lindblad will be second with 190 points. Third place, Max Dodds with 185 points. William McIntyre was right with the leaders at the end. He was 3 seconds back with only about 2 or 3 laps to go at the flag, 1 second away from victory. So a stunning drive there from William McIntyre. He's 4th in the championship. Harley Keeble is 5th in the championship. Harley Horton 6th in the championship. Brandon Carr 7th in the championship. Then it's Aidan Neat, Luke Watts and Sam Shaw, 2 drivers down the lower order of the top 10 there. Haven't had the best of weekends by their standards, but in the end it came good for the pair of them. Luke Watts finishing in 4th and Sam Shaw finishing in 6th.
Oh my word. That was worth every single second of every single corner of every single lap. Oh, that was magnificent. That was up there with the Junior X30s, to be fair. Well done to the Army Cadets. It took a long time, but eventually we got a great race out of it.
Yeah, it took them a while, didn't it?
Senior Rotax is out next on what is vastly turning into a lake here at PF International. That's the thing. The weather has not seen severe heavy rain. It's just been continuous and ongoing for the last hour and a half.
So this is going into an unknown now.
Yep. Reese Hunter from pole position. Charlie Turner alongside him.
They're going to have to be guessing setups. Drivers who don't really know this track too well in the wet, then they're going to have to be trying to adapt to the circuit. It's going to come down to track knowledge, in my opinion.
Yep.
And definitely Reese Hunter, Charlie Turner, James Johnson, all 3 of those have a lot of that. We know Tommy Foster won here a couple of weeks ago.
Now, I can tell you what happened to Tommy Foster earlier. He had some technical difficulties with the kart, so that's what kept him back. So I think it was something to do with the valve. The power valve.
Power valve, okay.
So, yeah, that's what it was. So Tommy Foster should have been right at the front, but the power valve failure meant that he had to fight his way through. 7th place, given that, is not bad going, actually.
Not bad, and he won, like I said, he won here a couple of weeks ago. Joe Turney knows this place very well, Barrett likewise, so I'd say a lot of the drivers who have done well in recent years could go very well. You've got your Jason Lockwoods as well down there in 16th place, having come through in the first final. Elliot Rice did similar. So, well, we'll see how it goes. We've got 12 minutes on the board, and we've got 34 senior Rotax drivers getting ready for final 2 of the weekend.
Hunter, Turner, Johnson, Lingard, Apps, Turney, Foster, Barrett, Wooder and White in the top 10. From Barrett to Sang, Rose, Cheek, Ross, Lockwood, Rice and McConnell. Let's get it. Oh, it's going to be another start. So that gives us time to go through the rest.
Yeah.
Reese Hunter and Charlie Turner on the front of the grid then. James Johnson and James Lingard on the second row. Miles Apps and Joe Turney are on the third row together, with Tommy Foster and Bradley Barrett on the fourth row. Then it is Luke Wooder and Sam White rounding out the top 10. From Spencer Barrow and Kian to Sang, Morgan Rose and Michael Cheek are on the 7th row, from Mark Ross and Jason Lockwood. Then it's Elliot Rice and Jack McConnell, George Holbrook and Rob Ellis, Daniel Devereaux and Luke Oliver, from Danny Russell and Ryan Luscombe. Then Tom Edmonds and Tyler Chesterton on the 13th row, from Ethan Haynes and Sam Baker, Joe Bleakley, Ben Donkin, Lewis Brown, Paige Holden, Ben Davis and Alexander Kirkwood. And we got a spin and an off on the way to the first hairpin. We've lost our first driver already. Now, that looks to me like the 20... Is that the 26 that's gone there?
Lewis Brown.
Yes, it is. That's Lewis Brown. So, Lewis Brown already starting down in 20...
very good. Yeah, clever driving. Goes straight through.
Yeah, 31st on the grid is Lewis Brown, so he manages to slot himself back in a position. No problem at all there. But that's a nasty scare for Lewis Brown.
A good job for him, actually, to realise he could go cut straight over to the exit of the chicane. So... should be no problem for him. He's due to start towards the back of the grid anyway.
Major sigh of relief for KR Sport then. That could have been very nasty indeed. But anyway, it's going to be Hunter and Turner, Johnson and Lingard, Apps and Turney, Foster and Barrett, Wooder and White. Any one of those 10 could win this in these conditions. We'll find out how it goes. This time they are going to be ready for a cleaner start. We've got a yellow flag. Someone's broken down at the back. And that is not a clean start as a result. Several drivers off the road. Miles Apps has got a problem. Miles Apps in the 14 is sluggish.
Yeah, he's slowing down. Tommy Foster's gone through the cut-through.
Tommy Foster through the cut-through. Has he got a problem?
Yeah, he's going to be charging back to the pits. It was the 38, I think it was, of Tom Edmonds who was slow through.
Oh,
Miles
dear.
Apps is coming to a stop. Edmonds has got going.
Apps is out. Apps is out by the look of it.
Yeah, but Foster is flying.
Oh, Miles Apps pulling off under the Litchfield Bridge. This is a disaster for the man on the third row.
But Foster is flying round to the pits there. Apps is
trying to get a pit lane start.
Yeah, broken down as you said. I don't know what's wrong with Tommy Foster, but he clearly needs a trip to the pit lane.
More problems with the power valve potentially, I suppose, if it's a recurring problem.
Well, no,
but Tommy
Miles
Foster...
Apps, we've got a few big names missing now. We've got Luke Wooder's going to be a big beneficiary here. He's going to move from 9th place to 5th.
That's Apps and Foster both having moved forward. So, yeah, that's a big one. I have to say, if Foster... I know what they're doing. They're dashing back to the pit so that he can get a pit lane start if they can get the car started in good time.
We've got someone waiting on the exit.
Oh, yes, there is someone waiting on the exit. Now,
George Holbrook never come across the line.
That'll be what it was.
Nor did Mark Ross.
So Ross is waiting on the exit of the pit lane. We've got someone up at the Mike
Tommy
Wilson
Foster
complex
as well. Tommy Foster's going to rejoin, it seems.
Yeah. So he wanted to wait till the holding area, get himself back into position. This is going to be messy. I think we're going to go around again, you know. I have a feeling we might go around again. Either that or Foster's having to take up his residence at the back of the grid.
I'd say the latter.
Yep, so here we go. And this time, is it going to be a clean start? Yes, it is. We're racing. Cracking start from Hunter. And straight through into second position comes the O-plate of James Johnson. And off of the grid, that's Charlie Turner. Charlie Turner's gone over the grass at the first corner. So problems already as they go through the first couple of corners, up through 4, into the left-hander, over the bridge.
Turner third place. Second place is James Johnson. Fourth place is Lingard. And then in 5th place, just trying to pick out who that is.
Oh, it's a bit of a jostle.
Let's have a look as they go down towards... Oh, it's Luke Wooder now coming into 5th place. A good move there. Barrett trying to go into 6th place. Charlie Turner... Spencer Barrow, has gained a place. We've got George Holbrook just coming out of the pits and starting his race. as they head up towards the chicane for the first time. It was 79 of Joe Turney who's actually up there as well. He is in about 6th or 7th place at the moment.
Right, stationary yellow. We've got somebody else off on the exit of the first corner there. Is that Edmonds at the last corner? Because I can't see Edmonds having come through at all. So I wonder if that's the 38 of Edmonds having parked up on the exit of the final corner. Because I can't see him anyway. We did have a stationary yellow under the bridge as well for Miles Apps' cart. But anyway, Hunter is your leader. Then Johnson, Turner, Lingard, Barrett, Wooder, Joe Turney, Barrow, Rose to Sang. And then we've got Danny Russell from Sam White and Ben Davis. So Apps is out of the race. We know that already. Edmonds has not come through. Holbrook is down at the very back. I think that is Tom Edmonds' cart up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised as... they head down now towards the first hairpin, and a perfect start for Reese Hunter. He leads James Johnson from Charlie Turner. Then it's Bradley Barrett, in 4th place, having just gone past James Lingard. Behind Lingard, it is then Joe Turney.
He's got past Wooder.
Luke Wooder, yeah. And then behind that, Spencer Barrow, Morgan Rose, Danny Russell. So Danny Russell has gone past Kian Tassang, and Sam White's gone with him. So that's changes for 10th and 11th.
So as Reese Hunter continues to lead the race here from the O-Plate, James Johnson, and the 5, Charlie Turner. Charlie Turner, the luckiest man in PF International at the moment, because obviously having tripped over the grass there at the first chicane.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been done by a couple of... Freddie Slater did the same thing.
He did the same thing and came through to win. So, yeah, very impressive.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if we see something similar in the Honda Cadets. They're a standing start, so possibly not, but I'm not at all surprised to see people using that tactic if you can't get across.
Look at how much standing water there is on the circuit now, because the rain has been constant and relentless throughout, even though it's not been heavy, and it's just coated the circuit in a proper top layer of water. It's changed for second. That's Turner. Turner's made the move on Johnson.
And now Johnson's got the quickest driver on track behind him in Bradley Barrett. The 3 teammates trying to chase down Reese Hunter. They've got Joe Turney closing in. Joe Turney having gone past James Lingard.
Yep.
This is what we were talking about before the race. Track knowledge really coming into play now. And Joe Turney much more comfortable than he's been all weekend. He's been good all weekend, but this by far the best he's been so far in this class. Oh, and a spin. That's James Johnson, is it?
James Johnson, the O-Plate. Johnson has spun there on the way out of the left-hander.
It is Johnson.
So Johnson is down, having been in second place at the start of the lap. Now rejoins in what is about 9th or 10th position, I think.
I think he's even further down than that, isn't he?
Disaster. So that is a real problem. And it's Reese Hunter leading from Charlie Turner.
Well, it took him 30
up to
seconds.
Third position now. That is Bradley Barrett. And Joe Turney is 4th, still charging forward.
Yeah, Joe Turney, another new fastest lap. So I think it's only a matter of time before he goes.
He goes for 3rd. Turney goes up the inside for 3rd on Bradley Barrett. Thank you, that was nice and easy. But then he gets him back on the exit. So Barrett gets back through into 3rd place.
You're pretty accurate with your estimations on James Johnson. He's 12th place. So here comes Turney, back past Barrett for another time. And Turney giving him
the push signal, I think, there. Come on, these guys are getting away.
Lingard's doing a good job. He's hanging with these guys. Then it's Luke Wooder. Good to see him back in Super 1. Then we have Morgan Rose, then Spencer Barrow, and then the hard-charging Danny Russell. 15 places gained so far from Danny Russell.
Is next. Ben Davis has come up 23 places.
He stopped over at the bridge, didn't he? So he's in the 86 turning into the chicane now. And Ben Davis having he's gone past Sam White as well. He's into 10th place at the moment.
That is astonishing. Ben Davis, we are only on lap 4 and he has overtaken 23 places in the first 4 laps of this race.
Right,
that is astonishing.
Down the start-finish straight, look at Joe Turney having checked out from the battle for 3rd. He's now making it a battle for 2nd, this time on Charlie Turner. And, Charlie Turner in the end covered off what looked to be an inevitable move from Joe Turney as they head round the banking. And Turney surely...
3rd. Turney 3rd.
Yeah, he's into 3rd.
Right on the back of Turner.
Yeah, he's in 3rd place. It's now just about trying to get through to 2nd place.
He's got a good run. Turner's defending Big Star, but the gap opens up and Turney's there on the inside and takes the place. So Joe Turney now into 2nd position. It's now all about, can he get in the head of his own teammate, Reese Hunter, First and second place is the 2KR Sport drivers now. And it's all going to be about whether A, they can run away and hide from the Dan Holland racing cars as well.
Ben Davis has just been passed, so 23 places made becomes 22. Sam White breaks into the top 10.
Yep. Still amazing, though, to watch Ben Davis still battling away with White, though. As they battle away for 10th place, but still, that's 22 cards he's made up.
He looked behind and he saw he's now looking at James Johnson, so that's a very competitive part of the field there. That just goes to show how competitive overall this Senior Max field is. You've got Tommy Foster down in 15th place as well.
While we're talking about Russell and Davis making progress, we should also mention Alex Kirkwood. He's up 13 places from dead last to 21st. So good work from the Scotsman as he continues to make his way through the field as well. But out in front, Joe Turney is absolutely eating into Reese Hunter's gap. Look, 1:15.3 from Reese Hunter. Joe Turney did a 1:13.8. He's a second and a half quicker.
More changes. James Johnson.
Holbrook's in trouble. Holbrook's in trouble. He's going to cruise in.
Race was going terribly already, wasn't it?
Yep.
Started from the pit lane, of course, but
Turney's a quarter of a second quicker in the first sector. This is just going to be easy pickings for Turney if he keeps this up.
James Johnson, by the way, has gone past. He's gone past Ben Davis. And
George Holbrook's going to come to a stop. Holbrook's going to come to a stop on the way to Bobby Game Corner. He needs to get the car off the circuit. And he does so now. That. So that's fine and dandy. But Turney is having a go for Reese Hunter. Has he got through already?
Yes.
Is that him on the inside in the Mark Wilson complex? Yes, Joe Turney hits the front.
He's through.
Oh, that was superb. Absolutely superb from Joe Turney. He's going a second and a half quicker than Hunter at the moment. Holbrook leaves the cart where it is, but Joe Turney... it is Reese Hunter.
Oh, wow.
So, my apologies. Yeah, we thought Joe Turney had got him. Similar carts, of course. Difficult to make them out in their wetsuits, but Joe Turney is now gunning for the inside. He's got the darker suit, of course, compared to Reese Hunter. So we'll now know the difference as they come off of 5. This time, Joe Turney may have a better chance. Yellow flags again. And that is, of course, for Holbrook. So... they're going to have to be careful going to battle at that particular part of the circuit. But Joe Turney just running with his teammate at the moment. Is he going to make the move on the inside?
Surely it's going to happen any second now.
Well, he comes out of the second hairpin. He doesn't want to rush this, of course, because we've still got 3 minutes and 45 on the clock, plus that extra lap.
3 groups of 2 in terms of the top 6. Hunter and Turney. Turner and Barrett, Lingard and Wooder.
Here comes Tommy Foster back into play. Look, there's Foster. Foster is suddenly now in the top 12.
Yeah, he's behind Danny Russell. So he's now into 11th place.
11th place, yeah. He's a 1 place off the top 10. That is amazing progress from Foster, considering he started at the back as well.
Yeah, Sam White and Danny Russell have swapped places. So it's Danny Russell who's ahead of Tommy Foster as we go out the last corner and down the start-finish straight. Is this Reese Hunter responding, perhaps? Oh, and a mistake there from Turney. Ran slightly wide through turn 1, and that's cost him a couple of tenths.
Yeah, manages to catch it well, to be fair, because that was any other driver probably would have lost it and gone through and off into the barriers there. I have to say I am impressed that there's not a single driver who's gone off into that Litchfield Bridge barrier, because it does happen a lot in these conditions.
Oh yeah, I've done that one.
Everybody has really struggled to get up to grips with the conditions, but nobody has binned it in the most obvious place at full speed through 2. So very good work from everybody. But still, it's Hunter from Turney. Charlie Turner hanging on from his teammate Bradley Barrett. Barrett starting to look very hungry for that 3rd position on his own teammate. Turney, meanwhile, is starting to give his teammate Reese Hunter the hurry up, and he needs to, because Turner's closing in on him. So they need to swap places if Joe Turney's not going to be caught by Turner.
Well, you say that. At the moment, Reese Hunter's going to be on for 196 points. So I doubt he'll be willing to just let Turney go by.
No, indeed. So it could be a maximum score for Reese Hunter if he keeps this up. Down the home straight. No problems at all for Hunter. Turney still there on his tail. Turney trying to make a way through in a 2nd position. Loose as you like and on the limit as they bounce over the curbs into 3. Is Turney going to make the move on the inside line? He's trying his best. Hunter's holding the line up on the inside. No, he can't get there. But Foster can get there on the 84 of Sam White. So Foster is through.
And here we go. Joe Turney's now got the run down towards the first hairpin, and that's going to be the move completed. But Joe Turney, it's whether a case now Can Reese Hunter fight back over the next minute and a half? But catching are Turner and Barrett.
Joe Turney hits the front for the first time today, and he's absolutely rightful to be there. Brilliant result if this can stay as it is. Joe Turney at the front. Second place, Reese Hunter from Turner, Barrett, Lingard, Wooder, Rose, Barrow, and I think Tommy Foster now, the E-plate, has moved his way forward. Oh, well, he's now battling away with Russell.
Yeah.
So Russell and Foster are going through the field together by the look of it. So it is now 9th and 10th, those two, Russell and Foster, because they both dealt with Sam White on that last tour. So on this tour, I should say.
Yeah, and he's dropped a couple of places, actually. I think he's even lost places to James Johnson and Ben Davis.
Yeah, I wonder if Sam White's just slowly losing the pace a little bit. It's up on the inside. That is the 92. That's Barrett on Turner. Bradley Barrett does the move that Turner did on Hunter. Slightly different position, of course, around the circuit. But Barrett is through into P3.
Good move that from Barrett. I think that was a case of, right, Joe Turney's got the move and cleared off. It's about time I go for third now. It's not gonna materialise into a battle for the lead, so we might as well just take the place.
Look at Joe Turney. He is checking out in front of Reese Hunter. He's just got this kart beautifully dialed in. 0.4 of a second faster in the first sector. We know that when he was chasing after Reese Hunter, he was about 1.5 seconds a lap quicker, and he's just disappearing. This is magnificent. We're on the penultimate lap, and there's no chance of Joe Turney losing this one in the current form we're at. However, Bradley Barrett is charging after Reese Hunter, trying to get him down, and he's got 0.3 of a second on him in this last split. So Bradley Barrett, no, he's over 0.5 seconds faster, actually, than Reese Hunter on this split. So it's definitely going to be an interesting lap for Bradley Barrett. Can he get into second position? It's not impossible. There's Reese Hunter losing ground. Brad Barrett has got a lot of time to make up. And in the middle section, he is quicker than Hunter.
Well, it would be a very, very big ask, but he's definitely setting some really good times. Turney already been on the podium today, of course, with Senior Rotax after his Senior X30 after his third place, so this will be a double podium and a win for him today, should he hold on.
Well, now the rain really, really is starting to come down heavy, so the drivers are going to have a very soggy final lap. But out in first position, no debating who's going to get the victory in this one. It's been a magic performance, a brilliant result. Several drivers have fallen by the wayside. Luke Oliver, George Holbrook, Joe Bleakley, Miles Apps, Tom Edmonds and Lewis Brown.
Someone's pulled off. I think that's Ryan Luscombe.
Yeah, that's Ryan Luscombe who's had problems. I thought I saw a dark suit, and then don't tell me that's Joe Turney.
Yeah.
But it isn't Turney. Turney's still out in front. He's going to come through the Mike Wilson complex, having absolutely destroyed his opposition today from 6th on the grid. Great work from Joe Turney. He comes out of the final turn. It's a victorious moment once again for Joe Turney here at PF International. He wins in the second final. Great work for Joe Turney. Second place for Reese Hunter. Third for Brad Barrett. One more lap and it might have been different for second place.
Definitely.
Charlie Turner, fourth position from James Lingard, from Luke Wooder. Morgan Rose will come through in 7th place in front of Spencer Barrow. And then it is Tommy Foster, who does beat Danny Russell to the flag in the end. A good fight back for Foster, considering he was down at the back. So, for the first time in his senior career, Tommy Foster is finally beaten, but mechanical problems did get in the way of that, so that's not to suggest anything about Tommy Foster's ability. Ben Davis fights to 11th, 22 places made up in the end. James Johnson, very disappointing, all the way down to 12th in the end for the O-Plate. Michael Cheek, Jason Lockwood, Jack McConnell and Alex Kirkwood fighting up to 16th, making up 18 places in the progress. Then we have Ross White, who is down 8 places. Ben Donkin is up 11, and Tyler Chesterton completes the top 20 from Rob Ellis and Daniel Devereaux, Elliot Rice, Sam Baker, Ethan Haynes, Kian Tassang having an awful race in the end, and then Paige Holden with retirements from Luscombe, Oliver, Holbrook, Bleakley, Apps, Edmonds and Brown. But what a sensational drive for Joe Turney. I'm not sure you could find better than that from him on a day like this.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Joe Turney. Up 5 places, takes the win by just shy of 4 seconds from Reese Hunter, who's had a near perfect weekend. So fantastic stuff from Reese. Bradley Barrett rounding out the podium, having beaten Charlie Turner right towards the end there. But as you said, impressive performances throughout the field. Danny Russell, 13 places to finish 10th. Ben Davis up 22 to 11th. Tommy Foster up from the back of the grid to finish 9th. Alexander Kirkwood, 18 places gained for him to finish 16th. Ben Donkin up 11 to finish 19th. Some dramatic results at the start, of course, losing the likes of Lewis Brown, Tom Edmonds, Miles Apps, who was due to start on the third row. And as we now turn our attention to Honda Cadets for what is going to be the final race of the weekend. Let's run through the grid then. It's going to be Theo Mercouris on pole position. Keen Berta will start to the outside of row 1. Sonny Smith and Sebastian Block, row 2. Alfie Rigby and Dan Ginchard, row 3. Archie Walker and Mikhail Singh, row 4. Tristan Rennie and Darryl Taylor, row 5. Mitchell Gibbons and Edward Pearson, row 6. Oliver Greenall and Oliver Stewart, row 7. Then it's Jack Clements and Joshua Patterson, row 8. Leon Henderson and Ethan Simmons, row 9. Harley Horton and Jack Hobson, row 10. Daniel Holdsworth and Marcus Luzio, row 11. Ryan Willis and Daniel Parent-Smith, row 12. Lorenzo Cordau and Antonis Sofroniou, row 13. Aidan Lyne and Morris Henry, row 14. Zach Styler and Sasha Wiley, row 15. Ollie Hanley and Alistair Cresswell, row 16. Jack Plant and Neo Fitzjake, row 17, as kart's now on track.
Perfect racing conditions for the Ducks, but not for these guys. And from the standing start, this is going to be an interesting one, with several drivers wanting to make up a lot of places off the grid. But anybody in the top 10 has a good chance in this one. We've got yellow flags. Somebody spinning off on the way under the Litchfield Bridge, getting going again. So that's all fine for the moment. Is the yellow flag going to be withdrawn? Yes, it does. And we got another spin up at turn 5. So this is a very tricky rolling lap for these guys as they obviously bring themselves around to the standing start grid. But this will be an interesting one for Theo Mercouris and Kian Berta, who will want to start their races in the perfect way possible.
It's like they're racing already.
It does
the
look
race
like
hasn't
Kian
started
Berta
yet.
and Theo Mercouris are racing already. They're trying to get inside each other's heads here. Kian Berta clearly intimidating the privateer Theo Mercouris. So it'll be interesting to see how they go off the grid. But standing start, and for the last race of the weekend too. So let's see if they can make a clean breast of it as they come off the line. And it will be an interesting one. They're going around for 2 exploratory laps around the circuit because, of course, the weather conditions really have deteriorated. So they will not form up on the grid this time. They will go around for another one. And that is a sensible decision in these conditions, Chris. It's absolutely treacherous out there.
Yeah, it's a big change to what they've had pretty much all weekend. So no surprise to see that we'll go around 2 times. It's a shame. We saw a brilliant race in their first final. Just looking back at the results from the Honda Cadet first final, of course, it was Mercouris who took the win by 3.8 seconds in the end from Keen Berta, but that battle for third was very entertaining indeed. Sonny Smith just about pipping third in the end. Sebastian Block went for the move, I think it was on Alfie Rigby, wasn't it? And Sonny Smith able to get that third place, and Ginchard was 6th. Walker was right there in that battle in 7th as well. So very interesting, that battle. It worked for third place, very competitive. Theo Mercouris, the one to beat at the moment. He's been on top form all weekend as Theo Mercouris. He took a win and a third in his heats. Alfie Rigby with a second and a win. Ginchard took the other win in the heats. So the wins being shared between those 3 at the moment. The big one and the televised final still to come, though.
And it's going to be absolutely adverse weather conditions. So these guys will really have a tough one from the grid. 34 of them charging for that first corner. And it will be tricky, obviously, to get grip initially off the line. Obviously, all of them on wets, but that doesn't really help them in terms of that run off the line, because they're really going to struggle. There's going to be a few drivers who will get it absolutely spot on, and others who will be compromised as a result of 1 or 2 drivers in front of them not quite getting it right. So we could see quite a bit of a shuffle through the deck here on the first lap, particularly through the Litchfield Bridge. Things could get very, very interesting for these Honda Cadets as the racing progresses in those first few corners. But at the moment, it is Mercouris and Berta on the front row. Then it is Smith and Block Rigby and Ginchard, Walker and Singh, Rennie and Taylor, Gibbons and Pearson, Greenall and Stewart, Clements and Patterson, Henderson and Simmons, Horton, Hobson, Holdsworth, Luzio, Willis, Barron-Smith, Caudle, Sophronio, Lynn, Henry, Styler, Wiley, Handley, Cresswell, Plant and Phipps. We're going to get our green flag on the back of the grid very shortly indeed, and then we'll get our 5-second board go up, and then the last race of the weekend, the first round of the Two-Tone Money Super 1 British Karting Championships in the Honda Cadet class will get us underway for 12 minutes plus 1 lap.
5-second
board.
board.
Very nearly swimming, not racing. Here we go. The Reds will come on. They go out. Here
McCurris there. McCurris there. Got away too early and had to hit the brakes, and is going to pay the price for it.
Berta leads it. Berta sweeps through and into the lead. So McCurris didn't quite jump the start exactly, but he crept forward and then hit the brakes, and then that's when the lights went out.
I'm sure you've seen it 1,000 times, Jake, as we head over the bridge
Yellow
for the first
flags,
time.
flags to the Litchfield Bridge. We've got 2 or 3 off on the far side.
Yep, they're recovering. Alfie Rigby is
your leader, and McCurris is second,
it's Sebastian Block in second place, then it's Keen Berta.
McCurris is down to 6th.
Fourth place, I think, is Walker, actually, as we make their way through the first hairpin. I think it's Archie Walker 4th. McCurris is the one in 5th place. He's side by side with Dan Ginchard. Then it is the number 16 of Singh as they head through hairpin number 2. Darryl Taylor just going into the back of Tristan Rennie. I think that might have been... No, in fact, that was Archie Walker.
Archie Walker battling away with the 12 of Darryl Taylor. You're right, yes.
So who was it in 4th place then that we didn't quite spot? It might be Sonny Smith, actually.
I think it is Sonny Smith, the 95. Bit of a problem on the first lap, though, for the 22 of Harley Horton. Has dropped the way down the order. So a big problem for Horton. He was obviously the one that went off at the Litchfield Bridge, and now it is raining hard around the circuit, so the rain shower has properly come in, and I think the cadets will be very irritated with the IARMYs that they had 4 attempts, because we'd be over by now if we hadn't had that. So it's time to keep racing. Rigby, Block,
and it was
Smith is there in 3rd, you're right. Ginchard, then McCurris, and then Archie Walker, Taylor, Greenall, Patterson, Pearson,
Where's
Clements,
Keen Berta gone?
Keen Berta, well, Keen Berta was leading the race.
Is it a transponder issue? Or
has he gone off the circuit somewhere? Where is Keen Berta? He has gone off the circuit by the look of it. Berta was leading, and Keen Berta is no longer leading.
I thought that was him in 3rd place.
No, it's not. Oh, no, it is there. No, sorry, that is Berta. So he's got an issue with his transponder. So Berta, that is him in there in 3rd position, so surely.
So it's Rigby, Block, and then, yes, that is Keen
that is Berta. Thank goodness for that. So Berta in 3rd position. That was a bit of a swipe of the brow there for us. We thought that the leader had been dipped, but we have got somebody off on the far side.
Archie Walker goes past Theo McCurris, who's in big trouble early doors, and Sebastian Block takes the lead in the chicane. Brilliant move that from Sebastian Block to take the lead, but is Rigby going to fight back at Bobby Game corner? Yes, he is.
Oh, lovely, beautiful job there between the two of them as they dice for the lead. We had a spin up at turn 5. That was Dan Parent-Smith, who's got himself going again for the Stillpart Academy team, but this battle for the lead is magnificent. Block versus Rigby.
Yeah, it's Block leading the way from Rigby, then Berta, then in 4th place is Ginchard. 5th place looks to be, let's see as they come across the line, it is Ginchard, then it is Smith, then it is Walker, then McCurris. 7 drivers, split by 1.8 seconds. Behind that, it's Greenall, who's made a good start. He's up 5 places. Then it's Taylor, Ed Pearson, Leon Henderson, Oliver Stewart, Jack Clements, Ryan Willis, and then Josh Patterson. Jack Plant from almost dead last is up 13 places in the 52.
Look at this cavalry coming out over the hill as they come diving down towards 6th, the hairpin, and that is Rigby giving Block a little bit of support to try and get away. Sonny Smith is trying to make a move or two onto the back of Dan Ginchard, but Keen Berta still there in 3rd position, still with a good chance, don't forget. Berta leading in the early stages, but these two, Block and Rigby, having a great tussle. Theo McCurris is having to do the best he possibly can to fight his way back forward.
In towards the...
we got 3 off. Sorry, we got 3 off at the first hairpin. Now, I'm trying to see who that was. We've got the 33, the 81, that's Gibbons. And then the other one in there is the 16 of Singh. So
Marcus
Singh...
Luzio is one of the others, was it? In the
what
88?
A shame. Cresswell in there, along with Singh and Gibbons. And I have to say, that's a real shame for Mikai Singh.
He's had a brilliant
right up
weekend.
In the top 10.
Well, he started from 8th place and qualified 12th for the first final, so he's had a brilliant weekend.
And it's all come apart, unfortunately, for Mikai Singh. He's going to have to see what happens. Rigby is falling into the clutches of Keen Berta. Block is disappearing out in front. He's pulling out a bit of a gap.
Archie Walker quickest on track. Archie Walker, new fastest lap in 6th place. He's got McCurris right behind him. And is that Keen Berta going for second? Yes, it is. So Berta into 2nd place. Now, one more driver ahead of him before he's in the race lead. Just behind, it looks as if Sonny Smith is about to go past, but change for second.
Rigby's out of the move, but there's not a lot of room to get off the grass, but Rigby is through on the inside of Kean Berta to take 2nd place back. Smith has got through as well into 4th position past Ginchard, and right in there in 6th position, that looks like Archie Walker.
It is, and Theo McCurris is 7th, and closing in on all of these guys is Oliver Greenall. He's really closed the gap down.
Yeah, look at Greenall. McCurris has got a problem with power. He got a little bit sluggish there, and Greenall just sweeps by.
Well, let's hope that's not a reoccurring problem for his sake. What happened there then?
I wonder if he just got a little bit too crossed up on the way out of the turn, and it kind of unsettled the cart, but Greenall just sweeps by him. So McCurris is now down to 8th from pole position.
He's really on the back foot. He's just got to try and calm down here. It's going to drop him down to 3rd in the championship as it stands. That may go even further.
Block leads. Rigby 2nd. Berta 3rd. Then it's Ginchard. Oh, no, sorry. It is 91 now. Walker. Then Ginchard. Sonny Smith. Greenall and McCurris. Then Pearson has got past Taylor. So too has Henderson. Stewart is 12th. Then Willis, Clements, Hobson, Holdsworth, Patterson, Plant, Simmons, Rennie and Lynn.
Yeah, good little battle going on behind the lead group, isn't there, for 8th place?
Is that a change for 2nd place there? I think that is now a move for 3rd position. Battling away those two, and that has brought Archie Walker onto the back of them.
It might have been a change and then a change again. But,
yes, I think that's exactly what it was.
But Keen Berta still trying to find a way past.
Yellow flags. We've got a couple off. It looks like Zach Styler and Dan Parent-Smith have had a bit of an incident there, or at least Zach Styler has. We've got a yellow flag. Someone is off the circuit. It is Zach Styler.
Yeah. So and here we are. We're side by side. Archie Walker trying to go past Alfie Rigby there, but with the yellow flags out, has to tuck back in. And the
yellow flags are for Zach Styler, who has retired from the race, unfortunately. Harley Horton has brought it into the pits to retire as well. So Horton out, Styler out, and there's only 32 of them remaining then. So Block, Rigby, Berta, and Archie Walker. But Sebastian Block has got enough space to be quite comfortable at the moment. Look at these 7 battling away side by side for 2nd place. Berta hanging on from Rigby. Berta is on the inside line there with Alfie Rigby, and he's through.
Well, he's delayed. Berta's going to delay himself.
Back.
Walker's
Greenall's through. Smith is through. And Berta slots himself in just before Theo McCurris comes past. So that drops him down to 7th.
6th place. Oh, no, in fact. Oh, now his transponder's working.
Yeah, Greenall and Smith have both gone through.
So now it is. Now we've got him working again. We can get the exact positions.
Well, Block leads. Rigby. Walker is up to 3rd place. The rookie doing a grand job. Ginchard is 4th. No, was 4th.
3rd. Or is that Greenall?
That's Greenall in 3rd. How has he done that? He's now in 2nd as he makes the move on Rigby. Goodness me. Greenall has been charging forward. This is the highest he's run all weekend.
Alfie Rigby up the inside there to take 3rd place away from Archie Walker in the 91. Walker trying to fight back into the chicane, but Rigby into 3rd place.
Oliver Greenall to 2nd position, starting the race in 13th, and he's now in P2, battling away with Alfie Rigby. But Oliver Greenall, what if he could start chipping away at Sebastian Block now in the lead of the race? He's a long, long way ahead with 4 minutes left, but they never know. If Greenall's now in a strong position, he could start chipping away at it.
2nd would be a fantastic result either way, but no doubt he'll want to go for the win. Now he's got a few minutes to do it. Here we go then. It's Block, Greenall, Rigby, Walker, Ginchard, Smith, Berta, McCurris, your lead group. Behind that, Leon Henderson has gained 8 places and is up to 9th place. Then it's Edward Pearson rounding out the top 10. Oliver Stewart, Darrell Taylor, Ryan Willis, Jack Clements, Jack Hobson. Jack Plant has now gained 17 places to be in 16th.
The only person who's made up as many as that, really, in terms of the proceedings, is Oliver Greenall, having made up 11 places to 2nd. Rigby's having another crack at him, though, so it's not done and dusted yet.
Further back, as that Keen Berta under pressure from Sonny Smith.
Yes, it is. Smith is going to try and come through. Walker's going for Rigby. Walker goes for Alfie Rigby and gets through into 3rd position, does he? Yes, he shuts the door nicely there. So Archie Walker up into P3, the rookie, doing a magnificent job. Meanwhile, Jack Plant, the man who's made up 17 places.
And Sonny Smith at the inside of Berta, and there's contact. Oh, how did he not spin there, Sonny Smith?
Well, now McCurris is going to get the move on Smith on the exit up into Bobby Game corner. Is he he? No, he has to back out of it. I was going to say there's a warning flag for the man who's made up 17 places. That is Jack Plant. So Plant has got himself a little bit of a warning, and so too has Tristan Rennie, the 73. So both of those two battling with each other, I should point out, have both been given a token slap on the wrist. Meanwhile, Block comes through into his 8th lap. Greenall, Walker,
being caught.
Rigby.
He's being caught here. He's lost 2/10 on that last lap. So Oliver Greenall's going to just have to try and keep this up. They're not going to get many more laps in. So 2 or 3 more laps to go. Oliver Greenall's going to really need to start chipping away at him if he wants to make this a battle for the lead. I don't think Block will be too worried about things at the moment. He's just getting his head down. Greenall there in second place has the hard-charging Archie Walker coming for him. Archie Walker, brilliant drive. This is from the 4th row. He finished 10th. He qualified 10th for final one. Archie Walker finished 7th in the first final, and now he's in a podium position. So Archie Walker going along very well.
Overtaking move further back. And that got a little bit hectic as the 12 makes a place up.
That's Darryl Taylor.
Darryl Taylor, and almost takes out the 41 of Ed Pearson under the braking zone as well.
And he's going to lose a place, I think. That's
Oliver Stewart.
Oliver Stewart, yeah.
Yep, Stewart gets back through. So all of that hard work undone just by missing the braking point by nothing more than a metre or so, possibly. So very close work, but Sebastian Block has, I think, one more lap to do after this one coming up. So it's penultimate lap time for Sebastian Block.
And Archie Walker is closing Oliver Greenall down.
Could Walker get into second position here? He's looking very hungry.
Well, he's just set a new fastest lap as Archie Walker as we head across the start-finish line. Underneath the Litchfield Bridge, Alfie Rigby and Ginchard very close. Then it's Mercurius and Keen Berta. Sonny Smith with a gap behind. Then it's Leon Henderson in a comfortable 9th place. And then we have Oliver Stewart. Off the bridge, though. Battle for second still on here. Greenall, is he about to be passed by Archie Walker?
Walker's going to have a look, is he? No. Nice defending there from the 4 of Greenall. But you have to say, Oliver Greenall really has saved his weekend with this race, hasn't he? Walker going with him.
Yeah, Greenall just
13th on the grid, you've got to remember that. And then second position now. This is magnificent work from Greenall. 3rd place for Walker too. The rookie has got so many top drivers behind him. Let's not forget, we were talking about Rigby and McCurris as favourites for this one. Both of them are outside the top 3 here. So it's a great work from Block, from Greenall and from Walker too.
And that will spice things up when it comes to the points, but we'll pick that up a little bit later because we have got one more lap to go. We've got a leader clear, but we've got a 2nd and 3rd place very close together, likewise a 4th and 5th. So I'll keep an eye on the 4th place battle, Jake, while you keep an eye on the battle for 2nd.
Sounds like a good plan. Walker is not quite as close to Greenall as he'd like to be so far, but he can come from a long way back, up and under the bridge, through the left-hander, and this is still going to be quite tight for Walker to get through on Oliver Greenall, but he's definitely giving him the come on as the 41, Ed Pearson, is now the latest to get the warning flag. Tough to know in these conditions whether that's for track limits or for something dodgy in an overtaking manoeuvre because it's such a tricky track surface at the moment. It could well be either, but here comes Walker making the move on the inside. Does he? No. Not quite going to make that overtaking move into the first hairpin. Maybe he'll get the job done in the second hairpin and keep that door firmly shut. Walker knows how far he's got to try and make the move there on the second place man, Oliver Greenall. Can he unsettle him in the second hairpin and go for the move? Look, they're catching up with Block pretty quickly now. Block has actually dropped back quite a long way. So Sebastian Block, if there had been one more lap and that was the genuine pace, they might have had a chance on Block. Block is slowing up big style. He's having to try and get back on the power. So Sebastian Block is going to be pushed right to the death. Walker might just settle for 3rd position here. I'm not sure if he's going to get another opportunity on Greenall. But Sebastian Block, despite the fact he's still struggling, Sebastian Block is going to come through and get the victory regardless. The New Zealander has done a great job. Sebastian Block gets the victory. And W across the line as he signals his way across the line. Sebastian Block, Oliver Greenall and Archie Walker in 3rd position. Alfie Rigby in 4th from Dan Ginchard and Theo McCurris back past Kean Berta in the end, and Sonny Smith dropping to 8th. Henderson is 9th and Ryan Willis cracks the top 10, making up 13 places to do so. Oliver Stewart is 11th from Darryl Taylor, then Ed Pearson, Tristan Rennie and Jack Clements. Rounding out the top 20 we have Jack Hobson, Dan Holdsworth, Ethan Simmons, Marcus Luzio and Lorenzo Cordell, and then we have Aidan Lynn from Neo Phipps fighting back to 22nd from Josh Patterson and Tony Safronio. Jack Plant, Maurice Henry, Ollie Handley, Alistair Cresswell and Sasha Wiley in front of Mitchell Gibbons and Mikai Singh.
Of course, McCurry's getting the fastest lap there right at the end. Some big movers in Ryan Willis up 13 places. Greenall, of course, up 11. Neo Phipps gained 12 places. So some big movers there. Phipps finishing 22nd. In terms of the championship, McCurry, despite that little hiccup, if you like, walks away championship leader with 186 points. Sebastian Bloch is going to be second in the championship, helped by that win with 184 points. Keane Berta, third place with 183 points, and Alfie Rigby fourth with 182 points. Then it's Ginchard in fifth with 179 points. So, what is that, 7 points between the top five? It's very, very close.
One heck of a season this is going to be, isn't it?
Sonny Smith is going to be sixth with 172 points. Archie Walker, who's been one of the most impressive drivers for me this weekend, seventh with 171 points. Tristan Rennie didn't have the luck he deserved at all. He's going to be eighth in the championship on 153 points. Then it's Darryl Taylor and Oliver Greenall tied on ninth with 150 points. Oliver Greenall's going to have all the momentum behind him going into the next round. But it's Sebastian Bloch who takes the victory in final two by just under a second from Oliver Greenall. Archie Walker showed no intent to go past Greenall. I think a podium would be enough for him today.
45 races in an amazing weekend, and what a way to start the Tuto Money Super 1 British Karting Championship. This weekend has had absolutely everything. It's had bitter close rivalries, it's had controversy, it's had action, it's had drama, it's had intrigue, suspense, great racing all the way through. And we've seen both types of weather. We've had bone dry, we've had very soaking wet at the end of the day, and we've had that fine line in the middle. This meeting has had absolutely everything, and once again, as to be expected here at PF International, it has been a sensational weekend of motor racing. 45 cracking races, 9 superb classes, and it all gets to be particularly interesting. So the only thing to do now here at the circuit is the trophy presentation. We're not going to be able to get that done on the radio, unfortunately, but we will have all of those interviews that will come out on the television programme in just a week or so's time. It's going to be absolutely amazing this season, though, and we started it in the best possible way, Chris.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic way to get the racing underway, get the championship underway here at PF International. As we said right at the start, glad it started at PF International. It's a shame the weather didn't play ball with us right towards the end there, but maybe that was a good thing. It was good to see both racing in the dry and wet conditions, and eventually I think some of the best drivers definitely took victories. Like you said, a lot of drama across all the classes, some fantastic racing as well, so there's no way you couldn't have enjoyed it, really.
So we've obviously got a lot of trophies to hand out. We've got the first rookie and first privateer, as well as each of the trophies for the top 3 in the individual classes. So it's going to be a magnificent end to the day for those, a very wet one for those who are going to the podium. But Chris McCarthy, I think it's fair to say it's been a fantastic weekend at the office, and we've really enjoyed it. Yeah,
it's been fantastic to watch. I've really enjoyed doing the Super 1 from the circuit. It's always a pleasure to be invited to come along and commentate Super 1 from the circuit. The racing's fantastic. It's the best British. It is the British Championship. It's the best one we have in the country. It's one of the best in Europe. So
one of the best national championships, if not the best national championship in the world.
I'd say the best, definitely. And it all goes. We now go to round 2 at Wilton Mill in a few weeks' time at the end of April. Hopefully I'll be there, and if I am, then we'll enjoy doing the coverage once again.
Thank you, Chris. And the Downforce radio coverage should be back in time for Larkhall in May, so we're looking forward to that. From all of us here at PF International, a huge thank you to Cato Motorsport on behalf of the race coverage as well, and everybody here at the Trent Valley Kart Club and the MSA Super 1 British Karting Championships. Thank you, and see you again in a few weeks' time.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingham and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jacques Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.